All right, welcome on into a brand new week of DCU Daily and Also Curious. It's gonna be a packed show as per always. I might have a bit of a cold, I don't know, but you know what? We're gonna fight through it because we're here to talk about Superman. We're here to talk about Fantastic Four. Of course, we're gonna talk about Spider-Man. Over the weekend, we had all kinds of photos, including the suit reveal and some videos. They're filming in Glasgow. They've turned a part of Glasgow into Lower Manhattan. So how that works, well, we'll figure that out. We'll get into it. And there's some hints from Michael Mando. You know, not only is he coming back as Scorpion, but might he stick around as Venom after the upcoming Spider-Man movie? We'll get into that. Of course, we have some box office information. We now know pretty much where Superman and Fantastic Four are expected to end up for their total box office run, you know, at the domestic box office as well as worldwide. So what does that mean? Which movie is going to be the bigger movie ultimately at the box office? What does that say about the state of the two franchises? There's a lot of Marvel, a lot of DC today. And also there was a new statue, a whole new tribute to Superman in Cleveland that we're going to talk about. And of course, beyond that, we've got the latest news from TV, movies, and, you know, music and so on and so forth. So to do that and so much more, let's get the show started.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
All right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see corns.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the needs now?
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
All right, you know what I didn't even mention at the very top? We're going to talk about the Naked Gun, including the director of not just the new Naked Gun, but the original movie, you know, commenting on the new movie and what Liam Neeson and company have been up to. Of course, we have to talk about Jurassic World Rebirth. It had a big box office milestone. F1 has just become Brad Pitt's biggest movie of all time. We'll take a look at what the other movies are on that list. I mean, F1, I mean, Brad Pitt's been around for a while. How come he's only just hitting that, you know, milestone? It's the first movie to cross $500 million at the box office for Brad Pitt being in the lead role. All of that and so much more with me, as always, I've got today. John, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. That's it. Just pretty good.
Also, how was your weekend? Did you get up to anything?
I saw 3 movies this
Oh, wow.
weekend. So I saw Naked Gun, which we already talked about. I saw Bad Guys 2, and I saw Together. So that was good.
Nice. Well, we'll be discussing both movies a little bit today. I mean, maybe we can do a review tomorrow. I didn't want to, you know, do a bunch of reviews today because, you know, there's all the news from Monday's shows, so we got to get into that first. But before we do, as we usually start off the show, we like to say hello to the folks in the chat. We've got Enterprising, There Can Be Miracles If You Believe. Nelson's here. Nelson, I actually have something from you on the show today. Yeah, it's a late night show tonight. Sorry, guys. Busy, not feeling the best. So sorry about that. But hey, Movie Spud's here. All right, Steven's here. You guys are late. I know. I'm sorry we caught you in the shower, but that's all right. You know, now you're watching, and it is good to see everybody. So, John, as I mentioned just a moment ago, we're going to start the show off by talking about what happened at the box office this past weekend. And it was a busy weekend at the box office, guys, because if you remember, there were 3 new movies. You had The Naked Gun, you had Bad Guys 2, you had Together. So something for everybody, essentially, you know, like for the kids, for the family, all the way to, like, you know, a horror movie, as well as, of course, you know, a comedy, like a true comedy, like a parody, kind of a movie that we haven't really seen in quite some time. And of course, you still have holdovers like the Fantastic Four, Superman, Jurassic World, F1. So many options. We are just entering August, but you know, August isn't going to be a very busy month for big movies. So John, the very first thing I wanted to do is quickly, let's do a high level overview. These were the 4 movies that were at the very top of the weekend box office. A Fantastic Four coming in at the very top with 40 million. We're going to break this down a little bit more later in the show, talking about Fantastic Four's number and if that is a good number or not. The Bad Guys 2, of course, came in second. John, I was hoping that The Naked Gun would come in second. I think that was my bet. It might beat it, but The Bad Guys 2 actually overperformed, and so it came in at 22.8 million. And then The Naked Gun debuted with 17 million, which is actually a really respectable number for a comedy these days. And then Superman, John, we were thinking Superman might go a little bit higher, but I mean, considering that it's in its fourth weekend, coming in at number 4, 13.9 million is not bad at all. Just wanted to get your quick reactions to the top 4 here. Is this what you expected? Is there anything here that you didn't expect, or any movies that you'd expect to be a little bit higher?
No, this looks about right.
Yeah.
Glad Fantastic Four is doing okay. All quite good numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. No, it was no, it wasn't anything to do with John. It was this today was just me. I'm running a bit slow today, guys. So sorry about that, but hopefully we'll get through the show. Steven saying, how was SummerSlam? I did watch SummerSlam. I teared up a few times, especially with John Cena. And then I was like, I don't know, are they kind of like cheaping out a little bit with the whole Brock Lesnar returning back? And because I was like, literally, it's deja vu from like 6-7 years ago, whenever they last did that. Remember when Brock Lesnar first returned to the WWE after retiring from the UFC, comes in, F5's John Cena, and then we have a whole thing where basically John Cena jobbed out to Brock Lesnar. That's where the Suplex City thing was born. I'm like, is that where this is going? I don't know. But it was a good show. It was a good show, 2 nights. I think my favorite match of the entire weekend was probably the Becky Lynch. Who was she wrestling? Anyway, that match, the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. I'm gonna remember the name eventually, but there you go, Steven. That's my review of SummerSlam. So, getting back to the box office news, of course, Sean. The first headline here: Fantastic Four: First Steps. Again, we're gonna get into more of that in a little bit. Right now, I wanted to kind of break down some of these other movies. So, Fantastic Four was at the top in a second weekend. We expected it to be there, and we talked about just a moment ago the Bad Guys 2 coming in at 22 million. The Naked Gun coming in right behind it. The one movie that we didn't mention, John, is Together. You saw Together. It kicked off to a 10 million 5-day weekend because they released it a little bit earlier than the other 2 movies. So this movie started out, I believe, on Wednesday, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they gave it themselves 5 days to make money. I mean, this still came in around 10 million and some change. So it ended up not being in the top 5. But you saw the Bad Guys 2. You saw Together. Were they both worthy of the amount of money they're collecting? Are you surprised that they're doing maybe as well as they are, or do you think these numbers are lower than what you expected? Especially for Together. I mean, the Bad Guys 2, I think people expected, but what about Together? Because a horror movie with all that competition, that's it's good that it's in the top 10 at least, right?
Yeah, I think that's considering that it was made for less than 20 million. That's going to make its budget back and then some very easily. But it was up against like more noteworthy stuff. You have a big MCU franchise film with, Fantastic Four. You have the juggernaut of DreamWorks. Yeah, not quite the juggernaut compared to Disney, but still a juggernaut nonetheless, as well as it being a sequel. Then you have a reboot to a beloved comedy franchise with a big star. So Together, yeah, it had Dave Franco and Allison Brie, but it was still the directorial debut, not a very it's not like it's not like The Strangers chapter 1 or 2, or it's like a typical boring, stupid, horrible slasher, but it's like very surreal, very weird. It's body horror. Not everybody's into that, but the fact that it made that much goes to show that horror is undefeatable, even when it's up against all these big name projects. So there is that.
I mean, do you know how much money they spent making the movie? Because I feel like it's probably not going to be anywhere close to like Fantastic Four and even the Bad Guys 2.
I think I looked it up. It was about 17 million.
That's not bad. Like that's really not bad at all. Because I mean, I think I looked up somewhere that the Bad Guys 2 was made for like 80 or 90 million. So it doesn't need to make a ton of money. I mean, it's made plenty of money already. So it's good, of course, that we're not seeing. I mean, we're seeing the money being spread around, is what I should say. Like, there's enough money at the box office as the summer movie season. There's still a few weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks, depending on if you're in high school or college or wherever, where kids are still at home, so they're able to go to the movies more. Which I think the other day I was thinking about it. Maybe Superman coming out on digital like August 15th, was it? Is kind of in line with when they expect most kids and to be back in school and families kind of back into their school year routine. So then people just would have an easier time watching it at home, and to strike while the iron is hot kind of a thing. But anyway, sidebar. I also wanted to mention, of course, it's not going to get any less busier at the box office because Freakier Friday and Weapons come out next weekend, so that's a double whammy. I know there was a question from Movie Spud, John. I did want to ask you, based on where you see Fantastic Four right now at 40 million in the second weekend, which again we're going to break down a little bit more in a few minutes. Do you think Fantastic Four will have enough juice in its gears to keep up at number one for a third weekend in a row? Obviously, when Superman held the box office number one for 2 weeks before Fantastic Four came out. Do you think Fantastic Four can now fight off Freakier Friday, another Disney movie, next weekend, or is it going to drop? Considering what happened this weekend.
I mean, it's still probably going to drop. I don't know how much. It just seems like it's going to be, very, I don't know. I think it's just going to like perpetually drop. Maybe not as big as that initial one, but I don't know. It just seems like maybe Marvel didn't have the win that they thought they did. So we'll see in the coming weeks. But it seems like maybe if they keep up the entire month of August, maybe that'll be something, but we'll see.
Yeah. And by the way, we have, of course, I mentioned earlier, Angelica's here in the chat now. We got Elite EZ joining in. Mackie's watching as well. We're going to get to more of that Marvel and DC rivalry in a minute. But I wanted to kind of spend a little bit of time, again, continuing to talk about these other movies. Obviously, the big thing with Fantastic Four this weekend was, while it did win the weekend, it suffered a sharp decline, as you see here in the Hollywood Reporter article. 66%. We're going to get into that a little bit later, of course, comparing to Superman. Superman, had a 53% drop, so much, much better, which could be potentially worrisome. But John, there were other movies at the box office. Of course, The Naked Gun was a big one, potentially reviving the comedy genre in earnest. I found out, again, on social media today, and then IGN posted about it here, The Naked Gun was greenlit after its director had Liam Neeson roast the Paramount execs, which is kind of hilarious. I mean, I guess it works because half of those execs just, left the company with the new Skydance, team coming in and sort of not cleaning house, but mostly cleaning house at the executive level. Are you surprised that that's the way they got this movie greenlit, sort of in the most unconventional way possible, where Liam Neeson went and roasted the studio executives? It's almost like an honor, right? Like, what do you think it would feel like if Liam Neeson walked in the door and was like, "I'm gonna roast you with my deadpan comedic timing. Give me the movie."
I bet it was quite humorous. I forget what he says in the movie, but it must have been quite the joke. That's what he says in the movie. I was like, what did he? Because that's what the GIF is. Must have been quite the joke. So,
right.
You were 20 years for man's laughter. Must have been quite the joke.
Man's laughter must have been quite the joke. That in his deep voice must have been quite the joke. I can't do his accent, but anyway, yeah, he should exactly. And doing the Van Damme split. Dang. All right, John, I did see this just not too long ago on The Hollywood Reporter. The director of the original movie, David Zucker, I know you mentioned David Zucker quite a bit in your review on Friday, talking about The Naked Gun. No spoilers. If you guys want to watch that review, you can go back and check it out. But the director of the original movie, reacted to the new one and saying, look, he's really supportive of director Akiva Schaffer directing the new movie and what they're doing with it, even though it's not really what he would have done. He's still appreciative of the fact that the new movie's out, and he wants the best for the franchise. Are you surprised by these comments from David Zucker? I mean, he's supportive of it. Obviously, he's saying maybe this is not something that I would have wanted to do, but at least I'm glad that he's not bad mouthing it, right? Like when we had the Shogun situation a while ago, the creator of the original show was blabbering about, and just like, oh yeah, they did the wrong casting and blah blah blah. I would have done a better job. Our show was really good. Like he's just like, look, people are liking it, which is great. I really like the director. I couldn't wish him more well. What do you think about Zucker's comments here about the new Naked Gun?
I mean, yeah. I think it's nice that he's supportive, and obviously, it's like he was a different director, and he has different ideas and different. But it's like it's clear that he understands that it was that the homage was respectful and whatnot. So that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that it's doing well, and obviously there's no bad PR around the movie, because that's one of the things that can kill any movie. Now, speaking of killing a movie, well, we were all hoping that the not all of us, I mean, a lot of us do like the Jurassic franchise. And John, you clearly are not the biggest fan of this one because it feels like they repeat the same tropes every movie. But hey, as long as they keep making money. Speaking of which, Jurassic World Rebirth has surpassed quietly in a lot of ways, but it was kind of similar to the last one, where Jurassic World Dominion, none of us thought it was going to make $1 billion, but all of a sudden, and like 6-7 weeks into release, it made $1 billion because of everybody around the world that is going to see it. Because while it might not do as much domestically, it does a lot internationally. Although this one is doing well, domestically, a little bit behind Superman, but not that far off. Elite Easy, I don't think John drinks Red Bull, but
I don't.
Nelson asking if this Jurassic World is
Now
the
that
worst
he said,
one.
I'm gonna fucking yawn again.
John, do you think this Jurassic World is the worst one?
I don't fucking know. I never watched it. I don't.
Oh, I
I've
thought
never
you
watched.
did. I didn't realize that's
No,
how you did. Go see it.
the only Jurassic movie I've seen is the first one, and honestly, kind of mid and kind of overrated. So I never bothered
right.
with any of the sequels,
Well-
which apparently are all fucking way worse anyway. So it's like, all right, if I didn't like the first one very much, it's a perfectly fine movie. I just don't get how everyone is just like constantly just fucking like on their knees sucking its dick for fucking 30 years. It's like a run of the mill dinosaur. Great effects, some good performances, and it's a fun movie, but not much else.
I mean, they tried to do that 65 movie with Adam Driver, which I guess that didn't go anywhere. So I'm like, they have a monopoly on the genre, right? It's like the Pirates movies. Like nobody else is doing Pirates of the Caribbean or anything like, But so it's like there's no competition. So, but yeah, I mean, people do like dinos. They like their dinos. F1 also, of course, becoming Brad Pitt's highest grossing movie ever. So I just wanted to kind of like quickly go through some of these milestones. F1 has now become, like I just mentioned, Brad Pitt's highest grossing film of all time. It overtook World War Z, now crossing 540 million. That was the magic number. If you look through the record books for Brad Pitt, we don't really count Deadpool 2 because he was in there for all of like 5 frames. So I don't think that really counts as a Brad Pitt movie. But F1, of course, now the number 1 movie. Number 2, you can see World War Z came in with 531.8 million. And then F1 has now crossed that mark with 546.1 million. Other movies you see, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Troy, Ocean's 11, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, once you get past Ocean's 11, none of those other movies have made even $400 million. John, are you surprised that after this many years working in the business, like you see a movie in Interview with the Vampire, like right, the one with Tom Cruise, 1994. That movie came out 31 years ago. In that time period, out of all the movies, the dozens of movies that Brad Pitt has done, are you surprised that F1 is now the highest grossing? Because we compare that to like, some other Marvel movies and stuff, and we're like, oh yeah, $1 billion here, $1.5 billion there, 900 million here. But then for Brad Pitt, he's never had a bigger movie, 546 million.
Yeah, because he's not like a big like franchise guy. Like he never, like World War Z was, yeah, that was probably the other like biggest thing. And apparently not a lot of people really like that movie because it was apparently a bastardization of the book. So, it's like, look at all these movies. It's like none of them, like the biggest ones I see were Megamind and World War, like outside again, if we're ignoring Deadpool 2, because that was a cameo only in like half a second. Um, so yeah, like all these movies like
It's
are just not that big, so it makes sense that F1 is the biggest that he's
yeah.
in.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at it, we talk about franchises, like Ad Astra is not a franchise movie, Moneyball, Fight Club. There's some iconic movies in here, movies that are part of a lot of people's must-watch list. Fury, 12 Years a Slave, 12 Monkeys, or 12 Monkeys. You know, this I really iconic Ocean's 11 obviously is a franchise, but Ocean's 11 isn't like a, DC, Marvel, Star Wars franchise. So it makes sense. I mean, I guess if he signed on to become, I mean, obviously Deadpool is in there, but like I said, there's a big asterisk on that because he was in there for like 5 frames that we saw him. I don't even know how that counts as him being in the movie. But anywho, so yeah, F1, the highest grossing movie for I was gonna say Tom Cruise, for Brad Pitt. Tom Cruise, of course, he's got $1 billion. His first and only $1 billion movie is Top Gun Maverick. All the other Mission Impossible movies, none of them crossed $1 billion, but he's had a few bigger franchises as compared to Brad Pitt. But anyway, John, Brad Pitt was great in Inglourious Basterds. What's the line? Gorlami? I'll take a deal. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. I'll take that.
Damn good deal.
Yeah, no, exactly. Brad Pitt has been doing. He doesn't do all these big blockbusters. F1, I think it was perfectly cast. You call it a boomer fantasy or not, Elite Easy, it's still. I loved it. Like, I want to go see that movie 5 more times in a movie theater. I think it was the best movie of the summer. Like, I'm sorry, Fantastic Four. I'm sorry, Superman. Amazing movies. F1 for me is the best one of the bunch. There you go. I said it. Fantastic Four beasts and where to find them. Thank you, Angelica, for that. If they did change that name, that would make even less money than it did in the second weekend. But yeah. World War Z 2. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen at this point, Jalen. I don't know. Maybe there were rumors, but I don't know if that's a thing. He could make a great Booster Gold, but I think, John, like we've talked about it, Brad Pitt would be too old to play Booster Gold, right? Like, you want to pair him up with Blue Beetle.
Fucking man's nearly 60. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, no, Enterprising, a good point. Sinners is a great movie. I think in terms of quality, Sinners is still probably at the very top. I personally, again, it's a very subjective thing. I had a better, more fun experience watching F1 than I did watching Sinners. I think if you're talking about objectively, what's the better movie? Sinners, yes, sure. Better storytelling, cinematography. But even then, I mean, the cinematography on F1 is some of the best cinematography in any movie. And so for me, it's a personal best kind of a thing, Like, I enjoyed F1 better than Sinners in a movie theater. That's all it is. Like, and it's perfectly okay if you guys enjoyed Sinners more. Now, of course, on screen here, John, Jurassic World Rebirth, you were talking about it's crossed $750 million. So I feel like Universal, I mean, not just me, Universal feels like they've got as much money out of this movie as they can. I don't think they're expecting it to make $1 billion. This will be the first Jurassic World movie to not make $1 billion after the last 3 did. But I mean, unless, somehow it gets there, which I doubt it. So we have some release dates now. So you can go get this movie on digital, like starting tomorrow, aka right now, if you're watching live even, August 5th. And then on September 9th, you'll be able to go get it on Blu-ray, 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, as well as DVD. So it will come, of course, with a bunch of deleted scenes, an alternate opening. Hopefully that means there's no Snickers, wrapper getting stuck in the door. I highly doubt it. There's other, features here, like, visual effects commentary. And director's commentary, which actually we have a thing about Superman director's commentary later in the show, so we'll talk about that. But yeah, you know what? That good for good for Jurassic World, I should say. Another movie it goes to show you the staying power of the franchise. But with that in mind, I do agree with you. Enterprising F1 potentially will. They should get nominated for best sound design. I know I'm going to be watching Avatar 3 in a movie theater, Nelson. I don't know about John. John is not as big of a fan of the Avatar franchise.
Oh, I'm still going to, because that's the only thing it has. It's the style and seeing it in IMAX on the biggest screen possible. Like,
are you going to see it in IMAX 3D? I did that last time. It was actually really good.
If I can, I will. But it's just, I might have to just settle for Dolby, Because the last time I tried to go, back when it was still, I think it was still the BTX theater, my dad and I went in and they're like, yeah, there's a problem with it. And it was taking a while. So hey, Can we just go to another showing that was not on a Dolby theater? They started to go in like when we were going to that other showing, and we're like, you know what? I prefer that we go to the other showing in case like something happens in that theater. So it's like, all right, let's just go to the showing. And it was a perfectly serviceable movie. It's just the first one again, just the effects are better and the story is worse. But
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. By the way, to answer Frankie's question, they're expecting we don't have a date yet, so we are expecting F1 to be available on Apple TV Plus this fall. They don't have an exact date. I know F1, the Formula One racing, the league has just taken their summer break. They come back with the next Grand Prix on August 31st, if I got it correct. That's the Dutch Grand Prix at Circuit Zandvoort. So that's on August 31st. So I know that they've been doing tie-ins with the real F1, league. So maybe they'll announce a release date, or maybe they'll decide to put it out on streaming around that time, or maybe they'll wait till September, October. I mean, the movie's making money. Why not keep it in theaters? So fall of this year, expected in autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it, September, October, I'd imagine. Tomorrow, I mean, movies, but you're right. It does seem a bit early, but clearly between Superman coming out in a couple of weeks on digital, Jurassic World's been around for 1 week longer. It makes sense. I feel like they're probably looking at it and saying that it's made as much money or most of what it's going to make, and at this point we should just kind of move it along, which is fine. It's fine. It's going to stay in theaters. It's not like it comes out of theaters. So if you want to see Jurassic World in theaters, you still can. And by the way, F1 is coming back to IMAX this week. So August 8th, for a few days, you'll be able to go see it back in IMAX. So I don't think F1 is coming to Apple TV until probably at least September, October. So yeah, I'd imagine the Avatar popcorn bucket is going to be pretty expensive. I spent $80 on that thing. I mean, although they included all the snacks with it. So I got a drink, I got a popcorn, and a snack. So it was all together for $80, which was really good value. But, anyway. But now we move on to talking about some Marvel stuff, John. So the very first thing with Marvel we're going to talk about, we're going to split things up a little bit. Right now, let's talk about Spider-Man. Over the weekend, in our show chat, I was just spamming everything. Spider-Man this, Spider-Man that. There's a suit reveal. Obviously, we got yes, Jordan, we are late. We started off the show much later than usual because I was tied up, and I'm not feeling the best today. But so we apologize, but we're here. We're gonna knock out a really fantastic show. Thank you for joining in, of course, Jordan, and we hope you stick around. Now, John, of course, over the weekend, like I mentioned, Spider-Man, they revealed the full suit. Here it is. There's the photo. Let's see if we can kind of like get a closer look. Tom Holland walks in through one of these soundstage doors. He's like, "Are we ready to go?" And like, I'm doing my best Tom Holland accent. Terrible accent. First thoughts, because we haven't talked about this yet on the show at all. Okay, we talked about the close-up look on Friday, which really just gave us a bit of the details. So we know the webbing is like more of that embossed look to it, which is very similar to what we got of the Tobey Maguire suit. It's not the ultimate, it's not the Amazing Spider-Man suit, which was just everything seems stretched, which made sense. All it worked well for the body proportions of Andrew Garfield. For me, just to kind of quickly tell you what I thought about the suit, John, I think everything works except that logo is just proportionally way too big for Tom Holland's slender body. That's the only thing that bothers me, because I feel like that logo just looks off. Like he either needs to just put on, more muscle, or he just, I don't know. Like, what did you think of this suit? What did you make of it?
it's perfect. Everything down to the last minute detail. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's genuinely like it is up there with the original Spider-Man Tobey Maguire suit, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then this suit are like the best suits we've ever gotten in live action. It's like not even close. Like the Homecoming suit, like all the other suits were like fine, but like it was like I don't even like there were so many because they just fucking used so many to sell toys. But it's just like the first like truly great suit Tom Holland wore was the one at the very end of No Way Home, where he's like where it's just like he has the sewing machine and he just did it himself, and that's what we're getting here. It's just a slightly redesigned version of that suit, and it's great. Like I liked the shininess of the the No Way Home suit more, but I get why they didn't do that. It's a little bit darker, a little bit more matte. Like I would have liked it brighter, as I keep saying, bright colors, bright colors. But I will let it slide because I feel like because Peter is in a darker place in his life, he has no one. He's lonely. He's he has to fucking like just nobody knows he's Spider-Man. He's just or nobody knows he's Peter Parker. He's just Spider-Man. So it kind of represents the darker like kind of aspect of this character. And I think they even mentioned that like this dude is like went through the emotional like just emotionally drained. He's fucking wrecked. I feel like the costume kind of like parallels that and mirrors that what he's going through. So I get why it's darker. So,
I mean, but the darker is also the lighting might be given
even
because it's,
even
like,
in the
color
set
grade, right?
photos, it still kind of looks
It's a little bit darker. Yeah. But I mean, to answer Anthony's question, I think they changed the suit because if you look at the last movie, nobody remembers that he's Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker exists.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
he doesn't have access to the Stark tech anymore. So like he's making his own suit. Like the comic Brand New Days arc, like he's kind of going off doing things from scratch. Except he wasn't married to MJ and like he was in the comics. So
yeah,
they're going for a more street level Spider-Man. I thought No Way Home was the second best movie of that trilogy. Homecoming for me was the best movie.
For me, it was the best because the thing is, I get like people rag on the nostalgia bait cameos. I get that, but I feel like in this movie, it actually like serviced the plot properly. Unlike like Deadpool and Wolverine, where it's just like, "Hi, we're here. Hi, Human Torch. Hi, Blade. Hi, Elektra." It's just like they're there for fan service. They don't serve the plot in any way, shape, or form. Those Spider-Man actually helped Tom Holland's Spider-Man become
part of the
Spider-Man.
Story.
Like it helped his arc. It helped make it work. So, well, poverty Spider-Man is just Spider-Man.
That's who he is.
Just Spider-Man. Like,
yeah,
it's just like that's who it is. So I feel like with here,
shall see.
I just think like because of that, I think the whole movie I had a good time. I was entertained, but I was intrigued. It's not a perfect movie, but I was in like this was the first movie to me where Tom Holland actually fucking felt like Spider-Man rather than fucking Iron Man Jr. like he was in Homecoming and Far From Home. Homecoming, I fucking hated. I don't like Homecoming. I thought it was a terrible movie and it was a terrible Spider-Man movie, and I do not fucking like it. It's one of the worst MCU movies. Far From Home is a little bit better only because Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio is great.
I thought that was my least favorite, but
anyway, I think it was a little bit better, not by much, because the thing is, when I went into Homecoming, I had like some kind of expectation, like, oh, maybe it'll be good. Oh, maybe it'll be like okay, and then it was just dog shit. And then Far From Home was like I had no expectations. I expected the worst thing ever, and I got like, not good, but like better. So No Way Home was like, oh, well, okay. Spider-Man, hi, nice to see you. We missed you the past two fucking movies. This is crazy. This is great. But it was just like Jake Gyllenhaal clearly was having fun with the role. Like he clearly was like having a ball.
I'm not saying he wasn't.
Get me out of this fucking suit. Like he didn't say fucking, but like he clearly, especially Marjones, like clearly Gyllenhaal, who ironically was considered to replace Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2 because of something that happened behind the scenes. It's funny that he eventually became, the villain. Insert fucking Dark Knight overused quote here. But I think he was like clearly having fun, and even though the movie wasn't really all that great, like he made it seem a little bit better. So there's that.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, again, like I said, I have a different ranking for those trilogy of movies, but question from or actually comment from Smacky saying Spider-Man shouldn't have web shooters, it should be all natural, and that he should have spider senses. Well, he does have a spidey sense that, you know, we saw that in Avengers Endgame, right? He gets goosebumps and he turns around. Thanos' ship is in the
No,
atmosphere.
that was Infinity War, not Endgame.
Infinity War, sorry. Yeah, well, you know, those
Well, because he was
Avengers
still dead
movies.
for half of Endgame. So
Well, that's true. Right. That's totally fair. But I'm just saying he
I don't
has
feel so
spidey
good.
senses. But I mean, after the whole thing of like that comes out of you, like how does that even work? Like
That comes
I don't
out
think
of your body.
it's like so. I don't think they're going with obviously the web shooter. John, are you excited they're giving him that classic web shooter again, the one from the comics that is silver? It looks homemade. Definitely not Stark Tech at all.
Now there is a theory on this that I read. It was actually people are saying they're not the actual web shooters. This comes from I Do Know Nothing. He's a very good YouTuber, has very quick videos. And he was reacting to the suit. And he's like, "This suit's great, but like, why do the web shooters look like that? They're not web shooters. They're latches for the wiring, so that when he's like swinging, it's like attached to his wrist, so that and obviously he has other wiring and harnesses.
You mean
and
this
shit.
is for stunts? Like this is a
This is
stunt
for
thing?
stunts. I think
But why would
this
they
is
leave
for
that on
stunts.
for clearly the suit reveal? Like I'm wondering if it's
Well, maybe
like
that
they know
were
people
like,
are gonna dissect
maybe
this.
they were in the middle of filming and they already did that, and maybe it's just easier to like have them on period, and then they can just CGI them out. Because if you look in the set photos, I don't know if we're gonna get to that soon, that the push button that like all the fucking, you know,
Yeah.
that Andrew Garfield had and all that shit,
Yeah,
it's not there.
yeah.
Like the thing is like the push button is like not there. Why the fuck would it be not
Yeah.
there?
Neil
So
Mask, by
it's
the way,
they're
just
probably
give
going
it
to CGI
great.
those out because I think they're now it could be impossible. It could be possible that, you know, that they are in fact the real web shooters, but they just look a little bit too big, and I think they're a bit much. But if they are, I'm not gonna like fucking rant, cry, and scream about it. But they're just so big that I think they might be like latches for the stunts. I think,
I mean,
and they're
I
just
don't
gonna
know.
CGI out it later.
I mean, because there's no. Does he have wires hooked up to that? I don't see that. Because usually because he's not like he's doing the swinging himself, right? Like you usually have the wires at your waist. You can see that he's got wires uh, at his waistline. That's where they have. So I don't know.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it shows off like, you know, him like not having any money, and like he probably had to fucking like so like best case scenario, it's just latches and they're gonna CGI it out, or those are the real web shooters, which I don't hate because one, I understand it in context, and two, they don't look that bad. Like they're big, but it's like whatever. So I think like just like fucking Tony Stark did in Iron Man 3, bro probably just went to fucking Home Depot, find what he could, and
it's fair. He didn't have the money to like get us, a can of spray paint. Like it's fine. I like him. I think they are the web shooters. They probably don't have all the mechanisms here because maybe that's meant to be more integrated in this. I don't know. I want to lean towards the idea that it's more of that. But I will say the suit, like you can see the material is very different. Like the previous suit clearly was meant to be more form fitting and everything. But again, nowadays we have seen in the behind the scenes with the previous trilogy of movies, sometimes they'll literally replace him with a CGI body double once, when he's in the suit, and it just looks better. And now the animation quality is so good that you don't notice when these actually, Tom Holland in the suit or a CGI double of him.
Felicia Hardy.
Yeah, there you go. Gwen Stacy or Felicia Hardy. Because we have seen a lot of Gwen Stacy. We have seen Gwen Stacy in every iteration. I'm sure we're gonna get
give
one
us
eventually.
fucking Black Cat, man. We almost got Black Cat and we didn't get it. So like, give us Black Cat. Play by.
I'm okay, by the way, with the web shooter. Well, she's already sort of, auditioned for that. We haven't talked about Fantastic Four yet, Anthony. We're getting to that. We're going to do a whole box office breakdown and what it means for them in a little bit. I'm trying to see if I missed anybody's comments here. Curious of Marvel. Okay, yeah. So you guys have a bunch of comments here that we're going to get into in a little bit. But, okay. So let's just quickly talk about, again, just the color of the suit, John, you mentioned. It's a darker blue. Although again, from this other angle, it doesn't look that bad. This looks pretty classic to me. And for the helmet, you can see that they've got like this thing on the inside, so it gives the mask its shape that we're used to seeing. Because obviously with Tom Holland's hair, it's not going to look, clean.
It's
I don't.
a fucking amazing suit. Like we
Yeah.
finally got like a good suit, and you know what? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like how homemade it looks. Like I like the wrinkle. I hope they don't see you. Like I like how the neck looks weird. I like the wrinkles.
I hear you, man.
I like how like the fingers
just
kind of have.
saying.
You know how you like you wear a pair of like skin tight gloves and it has the weird like edges because that's where it was like sewn. Like you can kind of see like the fucking little phalanges and edges on like the fingers, and it's like it looks homemade. I like that. They're probably gonna fucking CGI it, but I hope they don't. I hope they don't. It looks good. And even here that it's kind of like a darker design, but this is Kino.
Yeah.
This is like this is great.
Yeah, I mean it's got the colors that both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield suits had. It's obviously not the Amazing Spider-Man suit, which had a different design, different spider symbol. But I don't know if it's honoring any of those versions. It's more just going back to the comic book roots of the character. So, but yeah, I mean, there's more set photos you see there. He's putting the suit on, more angles at it.
Fucking taking pictures with people.
Yeah, he was taking pictures with kids. He was talking to people like they're just like asking him questions. Like this was a funny video. He's like, "Are we gonna see Punisher?" He's like, "Oh, you're gonna have to watch the movie, mate." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. I mean, fair enough. We are getting the Punisher in the movie, but I mean, speaking of the suits, John, I did want to put this photo up on screen quickly. These are the now total of 8 different suits he's had, including like the completely home. Well, his very first iteration of the suit before Tony Stark got involved. I feel like with the new suit, the only thing that's Tony Stark like related is the eyes. The eyes design seems like he's kept the mask largely, like at least the eyes are the same. So I wonder if his eyes are gonna like close and open, kind of like what we have seen in every other iteration of the suit. That's the only thing that feels like it hasn't changed from the other suits that were Stark made. Like you see here, the eyes are still very much like the same design. I don't know. We'll see if they're animated or not.
I mean, I will say the other as I said, the other ones aren't bad. Like the first Stark suit was okay. I didn't like the black lines all over that looked really dumb to me. And then the black and red suit from the second movie after he gets defeated and he comes back, he has a whole new suit. Those were good. The Night Monkey suit was fucking stupid.
Well, the black suit is literally the suit inside out, right? Like that was the deal. So, like,
it was like because he got like shit on it, so it was like I gotta make it inside out, and all the tech is like on the outside, and it's like meh. It's just like we gotta sell more toys. How do we do that? Fucking turn the thing inside out, sure. And then the the fucking like little gold fucking spider was stupid. It's like, I'm giving you your tech back to you. All it does is give you a new logo. Okay, cool, great. Why?
Yep. Easy excuse to give him an upgrade, a little bit of an upgrade. But yeah, I mean, hey, the reactions online pointing out again, it's just a comparison between the different suits that we have seen him in. You can see the more of that Steve Ditko suit. I do like that suit, but again, this is much more of that classic suit. And they teased it at the end of the last movie. We finally get to see more of it. But John, they've been filming now in Glasgow, so they set up everything last week, and they've been filming some stunts. Here's a stunt double for Tom Holland on top of that tank that we talked about. This is related to which of the villains? It's like what was the villain that's meant to be inside this tank? I suppose. What do you think, John? What, Menace?
It's supposed to be the Inner Demons, allegedly, because of the logo, which kind of looks like a Decepticon logo with horns.
It does. That's actually a really good comparison. Well, Anthony, we talked about how Miles Morales, I mean, they've been told, Kevin Feige said, stay away from Miles Morales until they're done with the Spider-Verse movies. So they're not going to be bringing Miles into the MCU anytime soon. Here's some video from him on top of that tank. I have a question for you, right? Because we have seen in a lot of these Spider-Man movies, I especially loved it in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. You start off the movie and he's fighting a villain, like I think it was the Rhino or something. Not the Rhino. It was a bunch of other goons that were trying to steal some, chemical thing. We saw them show something similar with Batman and the Flash movie where they're trying to save the day together. So here they're filming this stunt sequence in the streets of Glasgow. The audio on this is fantastic because you're like, you hear the Scottish accent the people are watching, and this whole rig drives by, and you can tell Spider-Man's meant to be fighting somebody on top of the tank, and I'm assuming in the movie the tank is meant to be driving on the road, and then they're being followed by a bunch of cop cars, which are all, look like they're from, NYPD and stuff. But are you excited to see this in action? And do you think this is from like an early part of the movie where it's just the villain of the week that Spider-Man gets rid of, and then they move on to, whatever the main story of the movie is going to be?
I think
He's jumping ahead of me there.
I hope not. I hope not, but it is Marvel and they're very cautious. They wouldn't be filming outside with tons of people around and doing fucking like photo shoots with fans if this wasn't super integral to the plot. So I'm going to take a wild guess that it's a cold open. I hope it's not, because if it is the Inner Demons and it is Negative Man, or not Negative Man, sorry, Mr. Negative Man is DC, Mr. Negative is Marvel. If it is Mr. Negative, then he should be given the time of day. So, we'll see, but it's interesting.
We shall see. Over under odds on Punisher killing somebody. M2G is taking the over on that. I'm pretty sure the Punisher is gonna knock over a few bad guys in this movie, even if you don't see it. It's not gonna be like a rated R version, obviously. That's why they're giving him his own special. So, but anyway, there's a few other nuggets of news I want to quickly dive into. Of course, I mentioned earlier, Michael Mando. We know he's coming back in this movie as Scorpion, but John, not only was he teasing Scorpion, but he might be teasing Venom. Now, in the comics, there is an iteration where once he's no longer the Scorpion, he sort of becomes an even more vicious version of Venom than Eddie Brock. I have a question for you. Do you think Michael Mando, because I don't think he's done this by mistake, do you think Michael Mando is sort of hinting at an idea that maybe, I don't know, he starts off as a Scorpion, gets defeated, but then he somehow ends up with that little bit of the symbiote that was left behind at Tom Hardy's Venom, and then the tease is that the fifth Spider-Man movie is going to feature Michael Mando's character as Venom instead of Scorpion. Are we going in that direction?
Honestly, it would be interesting, but I don't think so. I think it's just like, so what did he say specifically? I kind of skimmed. So does it just say like he's just like?
So, this quote is not from him. Let me see if I can go back. This was just in his stories. Like, this is, I don't know if he said much to it, and he shared the Scorpion action figure.
Yeah,
So
I think it's just him showing.
he's not really
stuff.
saying much. He just sort of posted these photos in his stories.
I don't think. I think. Yeah, I don't think that's. I think people are reaching. I think people are grasping
Yeah.
straws. Because if he said something, okay, sure, but like the fact that he just posted a picture with Scorpion and Venom, maybe he's just like, this is a cool picture. Like, maybe it's possible that he becomes Venom and they don't want to introduce Eddie Brock to like confuse people, or they don't want the experience to be ruined because the Venom movies kind of fucking blow. But it's
the first one was fun.
The first and third the first one's genuinely a decent movie. Second one sucks. Third one is okay. Like it's fine. I don't think he's teasing anything here. I think it's just like, hey, cool picture. And maybe we'll get Venom because it's like it's confirmed that the symbiote is in Earth 1999999, and I refuse to call it 616 because it's not 616. No matter how many times Kevin Feige says it's 616, because the comic book universe is 616, so it cannot be 616 if it's all part of the same multiverse. So and plus they confirmed in Across Spider-Verse that it is Earth 1999999. So I'm gonna say that. Anyway, we do know that it's confirmed. So he's gonna become Venom at one point because everybody loves Venom. Venom is one of, if not the most popular Spider-Man villain next to Green Goblin. So it's like if Green Goblin was Lex Luthor for Spider-Man, then Venom is like the next like Or if Green Goblin's the Joker, then this is like the next big. What
Right.
would be the next biggest thing for Batman?
Well, I guess I'm trying to. I mean, Joker usually ends up being the escalation, like you go from the Riddler to the Joker,
Or whatever. It's just like
Ra's
it's
al
like,
Ghul, maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
but it's just like it's like a huge like. It's the biggest. He's now because like Green Goblin honestly isn't
he's the most
even used that
popular.
much anymore. Like Venom is kind
Yeah,
of the go-to guy in terms of Spidey's big in terms of the modern 21st century era of Spider-Man.
right.
Venom is used way more than Green Goblin from what I know. So yeah.
I mean, people love. I mean, obviously, even in the games and stuff. So, we don't think Venom is in the new movie, right? This is so far the whole tease thing. He posted this. Michael Mando posted this image in his stories, kind of hinting at maybe the idea that his Scorpion character eventually, kind of like in the comics, ends up taking on the role of Venom. What's his name? Mac Gargan in the movie.
Yep,
Yeah.
Matt Gargan. Yep.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's not confirmed by any means. There's no, as far as we are aware.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah, totally. Any time of the day. Now, a little bit of a news roundup from, if you guys, in case you missed it, kind of a thing. There was a rumor going around that somehow Shang-Chi connects to Spider-Man Brand New Day. How? We have freaking no idea. If this movie doesn't already have enough characters, I suppose. I don't know how Shang-Chi would connect, but we'll see. Of course, you've seen the new suit. You see the web shooters are there. We talked about that. Now, I know one of you guys were asking about this. Who said it first? Let me see if I can find it. Nelson asked, does Punisher get his Iron Man suit? Is rumored for his fight with the Hulk. Well, comicbookmovie.com literally put up this rumor saying that the Punisher might be getting a big upgrade so he can actually fight the Hulk and go toe to toe with Spider-Man even. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's still a rumor. I don't personally put a lot of thought into that, and I bet you if they were to film something like that, then it will be doing it on a soundstage. I don't think that's going to be in the eyes of the public. John, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think we're going to get a Iron Man suit for the Punisher in this movie? And even if it did, how does he get a hold of it? It's the Punisher. Frank Castle doesn't have access to the Stark resources. Neither does Peter Parker. I don't know, how would that even work? I suppose we're still trying to figure out how a Savage Hulk figures into this whole situation in the first place. This is just another impossible mystery to me. Do you think it would actually happen in the movie?
Possibly. I don't really trust comic book movie. Well, I mean, he's gonna be in Doomsday. Simu Liu is gonna be in Doomsday, so clearly they remember him for that.
Don't be silly. Yeah, nobody remembers Shang-Chi. I mean, yes, obviously because they have to. They're like, if they left him out of that. But anyway, sorry.
I don't know. I don't believe this. I don't think I believe it.
Yeah, he steals the suit. Well, I guess I don't know. If you were to get one, maybe it's something similar to how Scorpion gets his suit back, or a version of it. Yeah, I think he's gonna be happy to. Well, I don't know if he's gonna be happy to mentor. I don't think Frank Castle is gonna be happy to mentor Peter Parker. It's probably more of gonna be for convenience sake. They both kind of like Hawkeye in that show. You know how they had Haley Steinfeld's Hawkeye and the OG Hawkeye with Jeremy Renner. Sort of like he was sort of reluctantly helping her out. And then she kind of got herself in trouble. And I hope that's not the dynamic, but that's the only way I can think of this working. So, yeah, everybody's got an Iron Man suit in the MCU now. So there you go. All right. Some of this other stuff I think we've talked about. Wait, who do you agree with? What are you talking about?
I agree with Daniel RPK.
Oh, this one? Yeah, no black lines. There you go. Well, yeah, of course, we're going back to the silver, more, what would you call it? Raised, embossed lines. It's more traditional. Spider-Man. Sadie Sink. This is another rumor, John. I don't know if you believe this or not. Sadie Sink is said to. I think we've talked about this in the past. Is she playing an original character, a brand new character, Carly? I mean, is she? I was saying she's got to be like the neighbor, right? She's gonna be the one who Peter's got to like. If he knows what's good for him, like it's right there, like in like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That's my theory. I'm gonna hold on to that one, but
yeah, what was your last comment? Sorry. Oh, hold on, I gotta remove this because I can't fucking read. bro, like, you need to fucking spell check. I can barely understand this. It also doesn't help that it's like almost 1 a.m.
Rogues Gallery, I think you meant.
It was
At Universal, there's a Spider-Man.
Hydro
where there's a
Man.
bunch of villains. Yeah.
Hydro Man, I think, is the villain you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you're asking, because like that sounded like you were having a fucking seizure like on your keyboard. But like, you know,
Okay.
just spell check. That's all I'm saying. Just please spell check. Do you remember the Spider-Man ride in Universal? I don't. Well, I mean, I kind of do. I never went on it. Is it possible the containment chamber for the villain in that ride? I mean, maybe, but like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. By the way, I have no insight on that one. But sorry, Anthony. But he's saying he's so broken up. Peter Parker's so broken up over Aunt May that he just starts selling all of Tony's shit that Peter saved in Homecoming. I would love it. Wait, you're talking? Are you talking about Happy? Oh, Happy. Okay, Happy's so broken up. I don't know. I mean, well, this is the weird thing too, right? Because like if Happy remembers May, but he doesn't remember Peter, it's like there's all kinds of like little questions that they need to sort of answer. But enterprising thinking of iCarly. Well, I don't know. Well, Sadie Sink obviously is gonna probably they didn't bring her in to just be a minor character, so I imagine. Okay, Sweeney Soap. I thought that was sold.
Yeah, because here's the thing. They said, "Oh, Michelle Jones is fucking, you know, an all new character," and then they just made her MJ in like everything but like the same name and personality and look, but she was essentially MJ,
right?
So,
but it didn't stand for Mary Jane. I think they also clarified that at one point, right?
Yeah, because her full name, is Michelle Jones Watson, as in a hyphenated name, like
right, not Mary Jane.
Bro. So Carly, I mean, the thing is, Michelle was supposed to be an original character because they were trying to have their cake and eat it too. Of like, oh shit, we cast a black girl as MJ. People are gonna fucking lose their minds because like everyone's fucking racist now.
They're like,
so
it's not MJ, but it's not MJ.
But it's like, it's not MJ, but it like also
Yeah.
is, and it's like, just fucking either bite
just
the
commit
bullet
to
or
the
don't.
choice.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like Carly, I can imagine that this is. It's entirely possible that she is a new character, and that maybe she is kind of the MJ in terms of personality, like the redhead, the hot redhead who's like wants to be an actress, model, whatever, and that's, you know, technically real MJ, even though this already has an MJ. It's a whole thing. So, is it possible? Yes, but I also believe that maybe she's like. Maybe a secret villain. I remember some theories like, oh, she's Screwball, or oh, it's this character, that character. So yeah, I just think, you know, it could be original, but at the same time, I don't totally believe it because that's what Michelle was at first, and then look what that became. So
yeah, I feel like when we were talking about earlier, like if we're gonna get, you know, Black Cat or Sable, like, or any of those other characters, Sadie Sink is that character, like whatever that, you know, love interest or female lead of the movie is going to be. I think that's where we're going, because we already talked about like Zendaya's role in this movie is not that big, so I do wonder if they're going in a different direction, because obviously like because here's the thing, if you're gonna have Zendaya in this movie and it's sort of like, you know, now she doesn't know him, but he's gonna, like, I don't know, try to make her fall in love with him all over again, like, and they're completely like it's one of those things, right? Like where you time travel to an alternate timeline and you're trying to like you're still in love with the same girl kind of thing. It's that vibe. But I'm like, does this movie have the room for them to have that as like a B plot, or are they just going in a completely different direction and we just get a little bit of MJ? And I don't know. I thought about that for a while. I just don't know which way they're gonna go, and I just, given what we know about Zendaya not being in this a big part of the movie, we'll just have to, you know, wait and see. Zack Snyder casting Sadie Sink as Lois Lane, maybe in like 10 years time. I don't know if she's a little young still. Well, I guess 10 years she would be like probably in that range, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Well, hey, that's all the Spider-Man news we've got for now. I know we're gonna circle back to this as we get more footage and more set photos. But guys, let us know what you thought about the new suit for Spider-Man. Obviously, John loves it. I just think for me, the logo, like Isn't my camera in focus? But logo, I think, is a little too big. That's the only thing. I'm like, he just doesn't have.
I think it's reminiscent of the Andrew Garfield one, which I like.
Yeah,
so
that was the Ultimate Spider-Man one, and then it was longer. Like it fit his suit, right? Like I just felt like that was a little out of place. That's the only thing I would say to it. But anyway, guys, let us. I mean, Felicia Hardy, we talked about, Anthony, so it could be that. Yeah. But hey, of course, we'd love to hear from you what you thought about the Spider-Man suit reveal, all the stunt work that's being done right now in the streets of Glasgow that are being dressed as Lower Manhattan, which blows my mind, but I'm sure they're going to do a lot of digital set extensions. Of course, they're doing a lot of stunts. There's a tank involved, maybe something to do with the Punisher or one of the other villains in the movie, maybe the Hulk even, because obviously we have a CGI Hulk, so like they can just throw him in post-production. Let us know what you think. All of your fan theories, get in the comments down below. We'll bring those in on Friday. But until then, we have to move back on to talking about, every day we are here. We talk about a little bit of Superman and the news. Then we get on to the rest of the show. We talk about Superman some more in the DCU Daily part of the show. Before we do that, though, I wanted to mention Hunter Iggy in the chat. Hello, Hunter. You got Kevin Davis in the chat asking about Sinners getting Oscar nominations. It's guaranteed. It's going to get at least like 4 or 5 nominees, probably more. And right now, it's probably the only movie that's guaranteed to be a Best Picture nominee. So there you go, Kevin. It's a little early, but that's what I would say. And Anthony's here. Hello, Anthony. How are you doing? So John, over the weekend, I found out something that was really kind of cool, and I thought we'd bring that into the show today. Superman, of course, born in Cleveland, at least, the character was created in Cleveland. So over the course of this weekend, they've been building up to this for a while, the city of Cleveland. And now the Superman Tribute Plaza is here. It's finally here. Almost 20 years in the making. It's a monument that honors the Man of Steel and his Cleveland-born creators. It is brought to life by the Siegel and Schuster Society. You see here, they did an unveiling of the statue of Superman, in flight. You've got the more classic logo and the cape of, flying behind him. Then there's a closer look of that here. We also look at, of course, the Siegel and Schuster family there, the two creators, Joe Shuster, Jerry Siegel there, looking up at Superman. And this was kind of, just heartwarming to see, because the city of Cleveland is embracing Superman in a way that I feel like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, would there be this kind of interest? You get a telephone booth, and it just all ties into the Superman movie out in theaters right now. This is a video of the unveiling of the Superman statue, John. What are your thoughts on this? Because again, this is sort of all tying it together into, we're still living in the summer of Superman. And so what better time to do it than now?
I like his comment. Well, that's just super, man.
Exactly.
Oh, so somebody's trying to message you.
But I think that's one of you guys actually watching.
But I love this. But I think the most important question that everyone has on their minds in regards to this like wonderful statue, does it have the bulge?
I don't know, John. Yeah, well, it's looping through again. Let's take a look.
Enhance.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I kind of forgot about that. Part.
It's covered. I don't think we can see it.
Yeah, I don't think we can see it.
Damn.
It's okay. I guess, bulge, no bulge.
I mean, we have other angles and stuff, so we'll see.
Actually, you know what? Let's go to the other photo. We do have a closer look at this. Where'd it go? Here it is. No, see, no, they hit it. Like he's tucked in. The bulge is tucked. That's where we're at. The bulge is tucked. It definitely has cheeks, and the underwear on top, but the bulge is tucked. I mean, yeah, you know what? You gotta make it, family friendly, as it were. So I totally understand.
You don't turn your back on family.
So the statue's verified rotten because it has no bulge.
I didn't say that, man. It's just Dom telling you what he thinks. That's the Toretto meter talking, not me. Great statue, good timing. I wonder how much. I don't know. It probably costs a pretty penny, but the city of Cleveland embracing one of their pop culture heroes, icons, It's next to the Convention Center of Cleveland, it looks like, and yeah, you guys can go check it out for yourself. It's right there. It's like they're one of the sports heroes, like you get. I'm sure LeBron is going to get a statue in Cleveland one day and stuff like that. Now you got Superman, of course, also hailing from Cleveland. This was really brilliant. John, anything else that you wanted to add to that? I mean, again, the summer of Superman continues, and this is another, fantastic stop. Even at a time when Superman, I mean, it's still got momentum behind it, but what better time to do it than now? So I'm just excited to see it.
Yeah, awesome. Love to see it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think about that. Are you surprised that they put up a statue of Superman and it took them 20 freaking years to do it? Why now? Was it just because they thought, it's the timing is right? James Gunn, of course, came into town last year. They've shot a lot of the movie in Cleveland, so why not do it now? And the Siegel and Schuster Society, of course, part of it. I don't know if DC, the studios have blessed it or James Gunn is involved in it anyway, but it's terrific to see. It is super to see as well. So yeah, all you guys saying you think is great. Well, let us know in the comments down below, especially if you're watching after we are live. We're gonna move in to now the Fantastic Four part of the show, John. So of course, Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family, they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing at the box office. But John, are they doing it good enough? Was it fantastic enough? Because at the second weekend at the box office, the Fantastic Four First Steps, they kind of cratered, like Variety's saying here, 66% drop in its second weekend from the first. Now, for comparison, Superman dropped only 53%. Superman had a much better hold in its second weekend. Whereas, of course, reason you can say it's because they had a lot more competition, because Superman's second weekend had Smurfs. Nobody went to see Smurfs. I don't even think it's playing in most theaters anymore. But like this weekend, you had Naked Gun, you had Together, you had Bad Guys 2, not to mention Superman, as well as Jurassic World, as well as F1. And then next week, we talked about like Freakier Friday comes in, and Weapons, which looks really fantastic as well. So are you surprised that they're losing steam at the box office this quickly? Because it looks like, Marvel movies we know can be front loaded, but 66% is not considered a good number, even for a movie that opened up as well as this one did, despite the fact it wasn't like out of this world, but it's a big drop, John. Now, this is putting it in the same territory as Captain America Brave New World, which was even higher at 68% second weekend drop. It's nothing like the Marvel's 78%, and it's obviously not like 70% for Ant-Man Quantumania, but it's sort of the same as Love and Thunder, 67%, and obviously, like I mentioned, Captain America 4. So are you surprised? Do you think this maybe indicates that either everybody who wanted to go see it saw it, or is it maybe like that it just doesn't have the rewatchability? Like, in your opinion, what's the reason why this Fantastic Four dropped as much as it did in the second weekend at the box office?
I have a couple reasons. I have a couple theories. One, it is the third of an already big month. It is the third big franchise film of July. And so it was going to get the least of the three, first off. Second, maybe the goodwill of Marvel just isn't fully back yet. Kind of like what it is for Superman. Because Superman, has garnered a little bit more money, had less of a drop and all that. Superman is still Superman. He's still the trifecta of the most popular superheroes in existence. So he's going to get more shit no matter how badly Zack Snyder fucks shit up. So,
hey, man still made more money. I'm just like, sorry. Go ahead.
It's just, but is it good? No. So, it's just, I think that you have the goodwill of Marvel is not fully back yet. Yeah, Thunderbolts helped, and I think this is helping, but right. I don't think they're good. They're first off, they're not going to reach those pre-COVID numbers ever again. Like Dooms, like I remember I was watching this guy. He was like, "Oh yeah, Doomsday will make $2 billion." I'm like, "Are you fucking sure about that?" Like, no fucking way is Doomsday gonna get. Way. I don't even think Avatar 3 is going to get $2 billion. And that each of those movies have gotten $2 billion. I think it'll make a lot.
Yeah, but just for example, Jurassic World Rebirth, we were talking about it, crossed 750 million, but it's gonna probably be the first Jurassic World movie to not make $1 billion after the last 3 days. So I think
so.
The same.
There's that. And So the
Yeah.
goodwill of Marvel is still kind of in the gutter. I think it's slowly crawling back after Thunderbolts was really good and this was really good. So, there is that, but it's not fully back yet. Fantastic Four is not nearly as popular as Marvel thinks it is. It's popular, sure, but like
Yeah, maybe there's a
it's not
ceiling to it, like
it's just like I think
yeah.
they're banking on this thing that's just not a lot of money. And the thing is, oh, Pedro Pascal is going to bring star power is dead, guys. Like these people don't like big A-list stars don't bring in a lot of people. And plus, there's like the anti-Pedro sentiment now, so maybe there's something with that. I don't know. Probably not. That's probably reaching, but there's that. And every Fantastic Four movie before this point sucked. So, like, why would you
We did
go
a
to
tier
this
list
thing?
last week, right?
Like,
And like in the tier list, none of them made S tier. I don't think so. Yeah,
yeah, none of the only Fantastic Four movie to make S tier is the Incredibles movies, but those aren't not
It wasn't
technically Fantastic Four movies.
really.
So there's that. But
Yeah.
like the first one didn't even release because they just made that to keep the rights. Like the
Yep.
first Johan Grufford movie was like fine. It was a crowd pleaser but like kind of a product of its time and really not the best thing
Yeah.
ever.
Fantastic Four comics have been canceled for a while too. Yeah.
And then there was also Rise of the Silver Surfer was arguably even worse. And then Fan Force, they just kind of got like ever since the 1994 movie, they slowly got worse. 1994 is still probably until this one was the best one. And then yeah, Fantastic Four, it was okay. Like it was like decent for its time. Maybe looking back, maybe it's worse. I don't know. Then Rise of Silver Surfer even worse. And then Fan Force was just from what people have said is just horrible. So, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
no,
Racism is not good, and I don't think this is fair to Pedro Pascal. He's an actor in demand, so
no.
I don't.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing. I think there is unfortunately a lot of anti-Pedro sentiment right now because you have all the incels that say, "Oh my God, he touches women consensually. We can't have that." Then you have, as figure drawing was saying, there is some racism in regard to that because he is Hispanic. So there's that, and then there's the idea that he's less of a man because he like touches people like affectionately, and that's like emasculating and it makes him less of a man, which equates
Mhm.
to gayness now, even though I thought we were like fucking past this, but whatever, but clearly
It
not.
just I feel like some things are just making a
It's just,
return.
it's
It's
so yeah, like I agree, figure drawing. Unfortunately, I agree with you because I don't want to agree with you, but that is, the case here.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
but it's just
overexposure as a star is one thing.
and
Being racist is
overexposure. I
another.
mean, I will
I
say
think
that
that's a
like
more accurate way to. Because,
people
for
people
example,
were fucking shit talking Chris Pratt
yeah,
for the past like couple years, and that
he's just
finally
in
died
everything.
down, and
Yeah,
now
I
they're
mean, on
bringing
The
in
Rock,
Pedro into this.
right? It's like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. The Rock, obviously, I mean, The Rock did a few things. Dwayne Johnson's done like the whole DC takeover thing. Obviously, people didn't like, but overexposure is definitely true. Angelica, I think, is making a good point. She went to see 4 movies, like was it 3 movies or 4 movies in one day last week? She's already seen Superman 4 times. So and she's like, I'm tired of Pedro Pascal. He's in everything. Like literally, he's in every other big franchise, right? So overexposure I think is a better way to kind of go, but yes, that's definitely part of the issue. um I know, Patrick, people are saying that you mentioned this movie's already a flop. It's not a flop. It's not a flop. This movie's going to be profitable. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think part of the
It's
issue that like MTG was saying is like these movies go on digital way too soon. We're sort of just now, trained to wait. Some people will wait like 2 months. That's all we need to wait to watch the movie at home. I can wait. Like I know personally people who are doing that. And I think that's also causing this to happen, especially with Disney Plus. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything else that you want? Any other reasons that you can think of? I mean, box office wise. Um,
no, it's pretty much all the reasons I stated there. It's just the idea that like no goodwill with
I
Marvel
think he's
right
the leading
now.
actor.
Fantastic Four is not nearly as popular. Overexposure with its main star and some weird non-traversies. And it's just It's like even as someone who didn't like the movie as much, I still like feel bad because it's like I want Marvel to succeed. It's just like
Yeah.
the fucking Phase 4 and Phase 5 have been a disaster. The Multiverse Saga has been a horrible experiment. And I mean, the thing is, Disney's not like gonna go down for this. They're still making shit tons of fucking money.
Oh yeah,
That
it
is
doesn't
never
matter.
gonna
Yeah.
change. Just
Like we talked about how many brands partnered with them last week.
brands and all that shit.
Yeah.
But we're not even talking about brands. Dan, let me give you a number. My friend was talking about this because we were talking about box office in terms of all the superhero stuff right now. Disney, I want you to take a guess. You're more business savvy than I am, so maybe you can get an accurate like idea of this. I want you to take a guess how much money they made from merch alone. And I think it was all encompassing merch, just from
Are you
merch.
talking about Fantastic Four?
No, we're talking about everything in regards to Disney.
Like this year?
I believe it was last year. I think this was the number for last year.
I know they made like a couple of billion just on Lilo and Stitch this year, so I can only imagine their merch 50 billion,
63
more.
billion.
63.
63 billion
across the entire year.
Merch alone.
Merchandise.
This movie failing, these past 3 movies failing, literally means absolutely fucking nothing to
Not
these
to
people.
mention
It
the theme
is
park.
microscopic levels of dents that will hit Disney and that's just merch, just fucking merch. And we're not talking about the parks. We're not talking about all this. So no matter how many failures in Marvel they make, no matter how many failures in Star Wars they make, no matter how many failures in the princess movies they make, it doesn't fucking matter because I'm glad you came in. It doesn't matter. They can make failures from now until the end of time and still not go under, because you have all these fucking YouTubers, anti-Disney YouTubers, which is fair because I don't really love Disney as a company either, but you have all these people that are like, the people that are like MCU fucking woke. You have all these assholes out here.
Get that part.
But
anyway,
you have all those dumbasses. They're like, oh yeah, Disney's gonna fail for this. Disney's gonna fail. Do you fucking understand how much it would take for this? A nuke could be dropped on their headquarters and they still probably would not fail.
Right.
Like it would take eons, millennia of so much horrible shit to fucking hit a dent in this company. This means nothing. So they'll just keep making failures because they can. Same with Apple.
But same with Google. I mean, Apple's got even more money to
Amazon.
Throw around, so yeah.
Apple, Amazon, those are the big 3 that
Dude, I didn't even realize Amazon had this like show which I was watching. Okay, so I watched one movie this weekend, and guess what movie? It was The Beekeeper. Because of course I just wanted Jason Statham kicking some ass. So I'm like, okay. And then I realized like Amazon has this like show which feels like I forgot what it was, like this genre. I'm like, wait a second, they have this huge show I've never heard of, and it's like, okay, of course Amazon does this. Like they have a new show. Basically, it's kind of like Wrexham, like the Welcome to Wrexham, except it's Birmingham City. Like Tom Brady took them over, and I was like, wait, Amazon has this? Like what? I was about to like this complete. So it's Amazon's got the money, Apple's got the money, but yeah, this is here's the thing to address some of you guys comments and questions. I don't think Fantastic Four coming out in July was a bad idea. This is the time to make the money, because if it's not now, it's December, and you got Avatar coming. So I don't think the release date was a problem. I think the movie kind of falling off after the first weekend. Look, here's the thing. It may still have legs. 66% drop after the first weekend doesn't obviously make it a flop right out the gate. So I don't think November would have been a good time for it, unfortunately. I mean, even though, yes, you have, Thanksgiving and stuff, but then I think they have a couple other movies scheduled around that time. They have Tron, Ares coming out around that time, which, as much as you might not care for it, Disney's clearly cares about that movie. And then, of course, they have, Avatar. So I think they're holding that space for those movies. So it made sense to put it out here. And the summer box office, there's plenty of money to go around. I don't think that was a problem. And as far as the whole $80 bucket thing goes, look, John and I both have it. no regrets. It's so cool. Like it's right there, and mine came with the snacks.
Mine is over
Like,
there.
like they gave me all the popcorn and stuff as part of it. And you know what? That only adds to the money that they're making. And as far as like having an effect long term, yes, it will have an effect long term. But even Star Wars right now, I feel like they're trying to make a comeback somewhat, I guess, because if that Starfighter movie comes out with Ryan Gosling that they're making right now, and the Mandalorian movie, if the first one is good, they'll make a trilogy. And so they're trying to pick things back up. They're trying to pull back on the number of shows they're doing, so they don't want to cheapen the brand. There was like an article about that today that I read, and it just kind of pointed out how, you know, the quantity really cheapened the value of these franchises, including Marvel. I think that is more responsible for Marvel having these box office troubles, as well as, of course, the economic climate, the international box office not quite being what it was, China not being a big part of the picture. But I just wanted to say, I thought Deadpool and Wolverine was decent, not a great movie. The last Spider-Man movie was good, to answer your question, Stephen. But I just wanted to point this out before we move on, because I thought this was also really horrid. Like, I think Figure Drawing pointed this out earlier. So, and I don't want to actually, Enterprising pointed this out. People taking shots over Pedro Pascal's sister, like, who's trans. I mean, dude, that's like some of the most fucked up stuff that I've seen. Which absolutely
there's a lot of things. There's
no it doesn't make.
There's a lot of things you can do.
So stupid.
Fucking insult the man all you want. Fucking make fun of his anxiety. Make fun of his mustache. Make fun of his overexposure. A lot of things. The fucking number one unspoken rule is you never go after family, because that person then has every right to fucking break your jaw, and everyone would clap for your fucking downfall when they did that. Because frankly, when you go after family, you deserve a fucking black eye. Like, that is just be all end all. No discussion. Even the police would be like, you made fun of your sister? All right, yeah, you're free to go. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Honestly,
pretty much.
You know, it's just, you don't do that. You don't fucking do that. That's just like, boom, right there. You just automatic. No. And I know he's effeminate. He would probably still fucking. You talk about family? You don't mess with family. Hit the Dom Toretto clip.
Your brother never told you never threaten a man's family?
Come on. You don't fucking do that. You don't fucking do that.
Brother never told you not to threaten a man's family? I'm going to get that right one day. Hello, Morkatna in the chat, ready to talk about DC. M2G saying, I don't think the months matter anymore except the holiday times. They wanted a movie every quarter. It's just that they came out 2 weeks later. It's hard for folks to take a family to 3 films. No, I understand that too, but I mean, still, look, that wouldn't explain like the fact that they made as much money as they did. They basically made the same amount of money as Superman did. I mean, not as much, but like it was kind of in the same neighborhood. So yeah, it's look, opening weekend is a different animal than like the weeks after. Having legs means like, are people going back to see it, or is there an audience for it? Like, how many people actually wanted to go see it? So I think that's really where, you know, the drop comes from, and maybe people didn't enjoy it as much. Maybe they didn't think it was as rewatchable. And then Enterprising pointing out, if you are gonna put it out in November, you have Zootopia 2 as well to contend with, which is another big Disney movie. So, and I think, you know, Zootopia would make more money. Tron Ares probably doesn't make as more money, but maybe in the same neighborhood as Fantastic Four. And Avatar obviously would make a lot more money. So I think they made the best decision. And obviously they couldn't put it out any sooner because there was other competition early in summer. Thunderbolts came out. So, you know, I think this was the time to put it out, unless they kind of flip things. So what's the record, Nelson? I don't know. We're not anywhere close to it, is all I can tell you. Yeah, Superman, again, John pointed out earlier, Superman is more iconic. So, and I think there is a little bit of that factor of this is the last of those big movies, like you said, John, because now, like when Superman came out, Fantastic Four wasn't in theaters. You know, it only had Jurassic World, even though it was only, and its opening weekend, Jurassic World had only been playing for a week and a half. So, but now you have Superman, Fantastic Four, and every other movie that has come out since, and it's coming out now. So there are more options and more, other movies that are competing with it. So, and then Wicked, obviously, another movie that's coming out later in the year. So a good point there. So, Yeah, it's only gonna get it's gonna get busy. Like the box office isn't barren in the latter half of the year. Yeah, I mean, Morkatna, are you have you not seen Superman, or are you trying to go see it a second time? Well, I know, but I'm just saying, you might not care about Tron Ares, but Disney clearly does. That's what I mean. So, but anywho, yeah. Look, Fantastic Four could have been a Christmas release, but in another time, because right now, they have Avatar coming out. So, but you know what? I did want to quickly kind of walk through how the weekend went, because the alarm bells were sounding as early as Friday, because $11.7 million was a 79% drop from its opening weekend Friday. So right there, people were like, uh-oh, it's going to make a lot less money than we thought it would. And then by the end of the weekend, obviously we know it had a 66% drop. John, now the movie has reached 350 million worldwide, but based on the second weekend, the expectation, according to analysts, is that Fantastic Four will only go up to $570 million worldwide, which I mean, it's still a good number, but $570 million is probably not what Marvel would have wanted, and it's on the high end. Now, they actually also compared this to Superman, because in this article that they made the comparison between how far can Fantastic Four get based on the numbers we're seeing. So on the high end, 570 million is what Fantastic Four is going to do, it looks like. And on the other hand, well, Superman, John, is still on its way to potentially getting as high as 680 million, which would be more than Man of Steel. Of course, not adjusting for inflation, but like we have talked about before, we don't usually adjust for inflation because there's a lot of other things involved with that, a lot of other factors, different economy, different time, different movie going habits and stuff. Ticket pricing is different, all that. So, John, are you surprised that the gap is this wide? Because now potentially Superman could finish as much as $110 million more at the box office than Fantastic Four. I mean, that's certainly not what people were thinking after the opening weekend for Fantastic Four was pretty much the same, a little bit less by a few $1 million, but just about the same as Superman. But now 570 million for Fantastic Four, 680 for Superman, because Superman is still making pretty good money, like we talked about. What do you are you surprised by that calculus at this point in time?
Obviously, we'll see. I just hope both are a success, and I want both to be a success. And I don't know. I kind of have like a hard time believing that it'll reach even close to 700 million. So yeah.
Well, I don't think either movie is
Hideo
getting to
Kojima
700
loved
million.
it, or he wouldn't have written a paragraph. Same thing for Superman.
No, he did.
Because
he loved both of
the
them.
most he did for like the Snyderverse movies, saw BVS, and that was it. That's all he said. Saw Man of Steel.
And the production design he called out, which I love the production design of this movie. I think Marvel put more effort into that than they've done for most of their movies in quite some time. Yeah, and then James Gunn did get the character right, and Superman is, and they're just two really different movies. Maybe it is a watchability factor, right? Like I talk about how the Guardians movies that James Gunn worked on are so watchable. Like the first one for me is still my favorite. I can watch that movie 5 times in a day and not get tired of it, because it just flies, and it just sings to me. So yeah, I mean, Superman is definitely more like that. It is a little more chaotic in terms of just bounces around with a lot more things going on. Fantastic Four is more of a traditional, story or structure. So, and it's generally, you feel that sense of dread the whole time. It's a little bit darker. There's humor, but it's a little more understated. There's not as much of it. So maybe that's part of it. But yeah, I mean, both movies still getting praise from celebrities you can clearly tell, people who are busy and doing other things, they don't necessarily go out for the opening weekend, but they still do go out for it. So yeah, and Superman had to contend with the failure of the DCEU, but also, like you mentioned, John, Fantastic Four had to contend with its own, past failed iterations. So there's that. And by the way, to address your comment, Jesse, we will talk about whether Superman is profitable or not. Hint, it is, but we're going to get into it a little bit later. I was putting this clip up earlier. This was kind of fun, it was a bit of a play on words. Evan Musbach talking about, he was gonna rock out this weekend, except not at a concert, but with rocks. This is kind of nice. By the way, Nelson, you sent this over. This was kind of funny. I didn't realize this was a thing. Somebody sort of put this together where it's like, we saw the whole Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby, obviously because Pedro Pascal's anxiety. Vanessa Kirby's just usually holding his hand or just touching his hair. It makes Pedro Pascal feel a little bit more relaxed during those interviews. But Henry Cavill not having any such problems, and I guess Vanessa Kirby was wishing Henry Cavill had anxiety. This is a little bit older, John. This was kind of funny. I don't know what you make of it. This is the
I don't know.
Nelson
I'm
special.
just
I just
kind
wanted to
of.
bring this in.
I get it's like kind of innocent, but like at the same time, I'm sick of the Pedro memes at this point. It's just like it's so
Yeah, fair enough.
making fun of a person's
Fair
mental
enough.
illness, not great, but
It's that part of it. I know. I was just having fun with it.
No,
Obviously,
I know,
it's
I
nothing
know.
to do with knocking Pedro Pascal down for any reason. I mean, once I found that out, I was like, you know what? Absolutely, man. Just anything that helps you out, because it's either that or like Jonah Hill. He doesn't do press anymore at all. I'd rather like we get Pedro Pascal out there in the world. If all it takes is like his co-stars make him feel a little bit better. I mean, and like you said, if it's if they're touching hands or holding hands and consensual, that's all that matters to me. Like I don't care. But yeah, crypto's the secret sauce. Yeah, well, Superman definitely had some of that secret sauce. Yeah, Superman could. I mean, long run, 20 years from now, if we get like a whole crisis on Infinite Earths, maybe it is. Maybe we'll look back at Superman. It was the Iron Man of 2025. But which also is, again, speaks to the to the greatness of the MCU just by making that analogy. And yeah, Pedro Pascal will never not be. I mean, maybe eventually, but Pedro Pascal is is one of the hottest stars in Hollywood right now. Loosen up.
Why am I not loose?
John is loose. John is loose. It's all good.
Just need to be like fully like
all good. Just 1A the like, guys. 1A the like button. That will help pump John up. Hit that like button while you're watching. But John, speaking of the like button, I don't know. You saw Fantastic Four in IMAX.
Yeah, it's
right?
just like in it. Oh, that's what he means. Okay, I'm like inundated with like the memes. It's just like I saw some, because the thing is, I'm friends with a lot of people who were also shitting on Pedro a lot, so I saw a lot of memes from them that weren't like ha 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 kind of funny. It was like, we hate this guy because for some bullshit reason, and they also meme the hell out of it. So that's also why I didn't care for that either. I understand like from an out of context point of view. Yeah, it's just, I could take a joke. I get it. It's just like when it's overexposed, it also that doesn't help either. So
yeah, yep.
Bonitis.
This clip was hilarious. But
what the fuck does that mean? I'm so curious.
I don't know what bonitis is.
Is that a sexual thing? Like
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I'm not even gonna try to speculate. But anyway, moving forward, John,
Yes.
the Fantastic Four. Apparently, if you go to like an actual IMAX screen, not just like your digital IMAX, but like an actual real the super tall IMAX screen, they do have an extended like aspect ratio of this, where you get to see more of Galactus's head. Like this, for example, is what most people saw in a regular theater. If you saw an IMAX, holy shit, there's like a ton more that you get to see. I haven't experienced this movie in IMAX yet, but like, holy cow, you do get to see a ton more. Like, I would love to see this because it gives you the verticality of just Galactus alone. It makes him even more imposing. Like after seeing these screenshots, I mean, I want to see more Galactus. And I like, look at this shot, for example. Like this was like mostly cut off. Like you don't get more of the sky. You don't really get to see a lot of
honestly
torso.
I see the merit in both. Stay with me here, because the fact that regular theater screens are so small and he is so vast that like he's like breaking through like regular theater screens, and he's like so huge that it honestly kind of makes him more imposing in a way. Like for some people, like he's just
I understand that.
Like, because look at that. Like, honestly, both look good. Like, I will say, Galactus was, even though I feel like he was kind of weak in this version, I get why. I just wish he was a little bit more intimidating.
I feel like he's more personally.
But I think with this, like, look at this. Like, go to the other one. I think to the right. I think it was like that one where it was like, yeah, because like this one looks so smushed, but it like honestly, it kind of helps the imposing nature of it, of like him just so big and vast for these tinier screens that it like gives that more imposing nature. However, the IMAX one also does that because it's such a big screen, and it's like you need that big screen to see the fullness of Galactus, and that also makes him imposing. So they're both imposing for very different reasons. So I don't think you're like losing anything watching it on a normal screen. Obviously, if you want to see it on IMAX, you see it on IMAX. But I think both have merit.
Right.
That
And
both
they're
is
not
better
gonna-
than watching it on your fucking phone. I'll say that.
20,000 times better than that. I mean, Ron said he saw it in IMAX and he saw that extended ratio. I wonder, Ron, if you can tell us, like, was that true for every scene? Like, did they give you that extended ratio in every scene, or was there cropping happening, or maybe they just kind of zoomed into certain shots so you lost detail on the sides when they were shooting? I don't know, the scenes with like just live action actors like Pedro Pascal and such. I wonder like how the aspect ratio might have shifted, or if they if they're reformatted it in some ways where to fit it on the IMAX screen, because that to me would be really interesting to see. I don't know if he was crushing on Lady Liberty, but because that's the other thing about this, where I was like, clearly this is another reason why, even if you weren't aware that this is not the MCU, in the MCU, the Statue of Liberty looks very different than what we see
but what
here.
general audience is gonna fucking
I
remember
know.
that?
I'm just saying, but almost $2 billion worth of people went and saw Spider-Man No Way Home where we saw that. So I'm just like, I'm just saying. But it's been a while. So, okay. So it was just a third act. So they extend. Oh, well, you know what? Then that's not. I don't know. Like that feels a little cheap, more cheap. But I understand that.
Well, yeah, I do remember reading that. I thought it was the only third act, but if it's more, then obviously it's more. But like I remember reading like they used IMAX cameras for the third act with Galactus.
Which I know they shot like Ralph Ineson for real. Like some of this is actual plate photography that they did with the camera, and then I'm sure this, the eyes and everything there to the water, that stuff is CGI, and maybe even some of his motion is CGI. But they did shoot Ralph Ineson in an actual practical suit, which is great to see. Okay, and then one more thing: social media, promotion still happening. They made their own pizza. By the way, this pizza looks so delicious. And at the end, he's like, yeah, with a base of vodka sauce, bro. Evan Musk Baccarat knows a thing or two about making pizza by this point, I'd imagine. New York Times Cooking. Do you have a New York Times Cooking subscription, John?
No, well, no. Why the fuck would I? I don't cook.
I have one because I have a New York Times subscription. So, by the way, did you hear that Vanessa Kirby said she's going to shoot some stuff for the Avengers movies after the global tour for Fantastic Four? I'm like, is she not due anytime soon? Like, she looks pretty pregnant. So, I mean, Powers.
They just CGI it out. You're good.
But I'm like, because didn't they do something similar with Scarlett Johansson?
I know. Well, Gal Gadot shot reshoots for Wonder Woman while she was pregnant, but she wasn't like visibly pregnant.
No. Exactly. Yes. Like, absolutely. Yeah, she was throwing up on set and stuff too. Thank you, Justin Geeky Guy. Pizza time indeed, as Peter Parker would say.
Pizza time. I'm gonna rub some dirt in your eye. Not in Pedro's eye, just general.
No, totally get it. Justice for Eddie. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all the Fantastic Four stuff you have for you guys now. I'm sure we're gonna cover this more. I mean, we're gonna talk about Superman's box office later, so that's obviously adjacent to Fantastic Four, I should say. But for the time being, guys, let us know what you thought about the Fantastic Four box office drop. 66%. Many reasons why we've talked about. What was the reason that you thought most involved, most reasonable, whatever? Why do you think Fantastic Four's box office dropped by 66%? Almost as bad as Captain America 4 and Thor: Love and Thunder. Does that mean this movie was as bad as those two others that have come out in the MCU? You let us know in the comments down below. In the meantime, John, we're going to move into the quickest, of course, the quicker part of the news, where we have a few more news topics to talk about, but we don't want to spend as much time. So, the very first thing we have to talk about is Apple, of course, is very protective of their name, as they should be. So they recently have been filing a lawsuit against Apple Cinemas, which is a relatively new, nascent, let's call it, movie theater chain on the East Coast. They actually just bought a movie theater that was previously run by AMC out on the West Coast in the Bay Area, but also they're expanding locations, hoping to go up to like 100 screens or more. And their branding, you can see here the image, Apple Cinemas, the logo has Apple in it. Not the same Apple logo that we're familiar with, but Apple's like, look, you're trying to deliberately confuse consumers into thinking that we are running these movie theaters. So you can't do that, and you need to change your name. Do you think Apple's going to succeed in getting Apple Cinemas to change their name and branding?
No, because it's a fucking fruit. Are they going to sue the fruit now? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's
like, but here's the thing: the fucking logo is different. The word font is different. If it was like an apple with a bite taken out of it, and like the apple was more like like if the typeface was more simplistic, like Apple phones, yeah, I'd be like, okay. But like clearly, it's so fucking different that nobody with half a brain would think it's the same fucking company. This shit's gonna get thrown out.
Yeah,
where they serve pineapple pizza.
I don't mind it. I'm just saying, I don't mind it. Pineapple on pizza once in a while, I'll take it. That's why not. But yeah, there's no way that you never know. Apple's got the money to probably outspend them, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. John, hey, we were talking about Star Wars earlier. Star Wars: A New Hope returns to theaters for a 50th anniversary in 2027 on April 30th to be exact. Are you going to go check it out in a movie theater? May the 4th be with you. That would be a few days after it re-releases for its 50th anniversary.
I want to say yes, but it's most likely the special edition, and I don't hate it. It's just it takes you out of the movie with the fucking inserted CGI and the inserted 90s CGI, so it's like I don't know. Like, I want to. I mean, I did watch New Hope with a live orchestra, and that was pretty great, but it was the special edition. I'm like, oh, that takes me out of it. But, it's just like, I want to. I probably will. Probably going to see Jaws later this month. Hopefully, I'm going to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre up at some point. But, I want to, but I don't know. Just.
Yep.
At least the theatrical edition, you fucking cowards.
By the way, the previous story, M2G probably, playing in the favor of Apple's case, which is like, hey, they're opening it because the Apple Cinemas is opening a new screen in San Francisco, and yeah, your friend thought it was Apple actually operating it, which is exactly what Apple is alleging Apple Cinemas is trying people to get confuse it with, which it seems like M2G, your friend, fell for it. So there you go. Yeah, early 2000s CGI. I don't know. George Lucas doesn't touch much of it anyway, but nowadays he can't make any more changes. But speaking of changes, John, I wonder what will change or maybe stay the same in Gerard Butler's Greenland 2 Migration, which has now got a winter 2026 release date. And also, one of my favorite action stars, Jason Statham's Mutiny, has eyed the summer release date next year. Of course, we don't have a release date exactly for Mutiny yet, but we do have Gerard Butler's Greenland 2, finally a sequel to the movie that came out, what is it, like 7 years ago now, is going to release on January 9th, 2026, which is actually a few days right after my birthday, John. Are you excited for either of these movies?
Not really. Like, Greenland 2, like, I'll see that on streaming. I saw the first one on streaming. Pretty good movie, but not a theater movie, So, yeah, I just wait till streaming, especially for a January release. And, like, for a kind of mid Gerard Butler, honestly, mid Gerard Butler is kind of all of Gerard Butler now. But
Greenland was really good. I heard
it was good for what it was. Like, I wasn't expecting a lot.
I've seen worse, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Plane exists, the Fallen sequels exist.
Like Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson.
Ugh, yikes! Where it's like Towering Inferno meets Die Hard. It's like ew.
Or like the other one where like all of LA dies or gets destroyed.
San Andreas.
Bad.
I forgot Skyscraper existed until now. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty good, but it's not like oh, I need to go to the theater. It's in January release is alarming. So
yeah. Well, I mean, the first one didn't make a ton of money, so I suppose they're like, put it out then. It might, because Avatar will be playing in movie theaters, so I don't know. It might get run over by Avatar. Rampage, another one, bad one. Yeah. Me too, John. Me too. Figure Drawing agrees with you 100,000%. Skyscraper was a joke. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. John, speaking of jokes, apparently FUBAR became a bit, the latest show to get canceled at Netflix, and for good reason.
Oh no! To the shock
Arnold
of
Schwarzenegger's
everyone.
Fubar, it had declined. Get this, by 73% in viewership by minutes of viewing.
Yeah, because they were watching
from
a
season 1 to season
shitty
2.
Arnold Schwarzenegger like past his prime trying to do action. Yeah, I could have fucking told you this show sucked.
No, but, I mean, Monica Barbaro is in this. She's playing his daughter. It's kind of like a play at, what was that? Well, why am I forgetting the James Cameron movie from the 90s? Why am I forgetting like the
True Lies?
Like True Lies. This was basically like True Lies, except his daughter is also a super spy, like Monica Barbaro, and then they brought Carrie Ann Moss as his wife in the second season. So the whole family is in the business of spying. But I'm not surprised. I saw a bit of it. I know they did a whole promotional campaign for the Super Bowl a year or two ago. Season 2 looked worse than season 1's. Not surprised at all. But speaking of shows that didn't get canceled, John, American Ninja Warrior has been renewed for its 18th season on NBC. It still puts up decent ratings even at a time when not a lot of people are watching network television. Are you surprised this show keeps on going?
Yeah, I thought this shit got fucking canceled like 10 years ago. I didn't realize it was still on.
Still on. It's going strong apparently. So there you go. Yeah. Well, also Arnold's earned more than plenty. He'll be fine. 18 seasons exactly. No way. I don't know. Yes way. Okay. Moving on to the next thing. The Punisher has taken on multiple bad guys in new set videos. Manucci, actress, possibly revealed, John. So we were talking about the photos from the set the other day. I'm not going to play this stuff because in case we're going to get demonetized for it, but you can see some of the photos here clearly.
One of the scenes, John Bernthal's nipple, I could tell you that.
Yep, Liz will be really excited. There was a scene where there's a bunch of stuff happening, blowing up, and then the Punisher's just walking off to the side, and some of the action looked really cool. But also, people pointed out is Judith Light playing Manucci at this point, because you look at the photo, that looks like Judith Light to me. What do you think, John? Did they get it right there?
I don't know. I'm not really familiar with the character. But
by the way,
sure.
This you mean the actor? But Spider-Man Brand New Day is filming in Scotland, in Glasgow. This is filming in New York. So they're not filming the same thing in two places. This is firmly for the Punisher special on Disney Plus. Really easy calling you salty.
Why am I salty?
I don't know.
What did I say? What did I do? What? I'm so confused.
You were just saying you don't know the actress, which is totally fair.
I don't know the actress. Why is that fucking salty?
And to answer your question, Elite Easy, I should say, Punisher is in everything. So yes, he is in his own special next year. He's in Daredevil Born Again Season 2 next year. And he's in Spider-Man Brand New Day next year. So you'll be seeing a lot of Frank Castle. And John Bernthal, busy man. He's filming in New York right now for the special. He was filming a couple of things for Brand New Day. Well, not Brand New Day, for Daredevil Born Again. Maybe some of this is for Spider-Man Brand New Day. We just don't know yet, but we'll see. Marvel's Oh, okay. Moving on from Marvel, Lady Gaga set to release a new song called Dead Dance for Wednesday Season 2, John. Is this meant to be like the next viral sensation that comes out of the show?
Probably not, but
Oh yeah, he's also in the Odyssey. It's gonna be the year of John Bernthal, of course.
Yeah, fucking goddamn.
Holy cow! Yeah, the rated R Punisher is gonna be in Daredevil, and then the Disney Plus special. Brand New Day, no. But in case you guys missed this, we talked about this the other day. Speaking of some DC news, James Gunn kind of explained why DC doesn't have the same big Marvel Studios intro with like the big or fanfare and everything, and it's because Peter Safran's kind of cheap, and it was gonna cost him $2 million, and James Gunn was like, nah, we're good. I'm kind of okay with it. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they had it, like if they had a Marvel
I
intro.
Prefer the simple one, because it's kind of like, it's nice because it's like 2 seconds first off, rather than the fucking 9.5 year long fucking Marvel Studios one, and then it's like it's a golden age Superman, so it's like this is where DC came from, and we're gonna show that off in every single one. So I well, I mean, to be fair, fucking Warner Brothers is hemorrhaging money right now, so they fucking need to cut corners.
And let's be honest, 2 million, it's not the cost. The cost isn't the reason ultimately. I mean, sure, it's part of the reason, but they got 2 million to blow on something like this if they really wanted to. So maybe down the road,
I didn't
they'll
mind
do
the
something
DCU one where it was like all the characters. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Except we didn't really pay any of it off, but you know.
Nope,
cool.
they did not because they're dumb. But you know, it's just
they got money.
It's just like I like, oh my god, the fucking I hate the Marvel Studios logo. It's just, I loved it when Fantastic Four they just had Marvel Studios
one?
And it was like the 1960s, like
it was like a Bond movie thing, like a Bond movie.
What was it? Like Cinerama, whatever the fuck it is, that logo, and it's just that I'm like, oh, thank fucking god, I don't have to sit here for 6 years fucking watching the Marvel Studios logo.
What I will say is, this is also the first DC Studios movie.
I'm saying.
So what I expect to happen is Marvel started off with a more basic version and then they kind of upgraded it over time. I wouldn't be surprised if 5-10 years from now DC has something much more comprehensive with the music and fanfare. And
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I prefer the old Marvel Studios logo where it's just like flipping through the comic book. It's so much better.
Dude, I hear you. I completely hear. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if they went in that direction over time. But I totally understand the reasoning for keeping it simple now. Totally get it. Especially for Superman, right? Now, John, I know you saw this trailer. It's the movie called The Threesome, starring Zoe Deutsch, Ruby Cruz, and Chad Hartigan. And well, as you can see by the image and the name of the movie, it's about, you know, these two people who have a threesome, and then both of the ladies get pregnant. It's a rom-com in a sense. I don't know. What did you think about the trailer? This actually played in a few festivals already at South by Southwest, and so far it's getting good reviews.
With the title, I expected something like way worse. Yeah. I expected like typical Reddit story crap where it was like, oh, they like 3 people try to have a threesome and everything goes wrong because they don't fucking communicate with each other. And so it just devolves like whenever you hear or see a Reddit story that's like, we try to do a threesome, I'm like, okay, how badly does this fuck up? And it fucks up badly depending on the story. But this one is like kind of like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna watch this, but like it seems like interesting enough. Like it's kind of like an interesting vibe, and like, bro, wear a condom. Why were you not on birth control? Like, so many questions. Obviously, they'll be answered here.
They addressed some of it in the trailer, but yeah.
It's like, if you're doing a threesome, fucking do anything to not be making babies. Goddamn.
It's, you know what it is? What I looked at this trailer and came away with was like Eternity, that trailer with Elizabeth Olsen the other day. It feels like they're trying, like both of these are like love triangles in a way, right? So I was like, it's a creative way to kind of go about a story. Again, like it's not the obvious story that you would expect. So, and so far people seem to be saying it's much more heartfelt. They kind of start off in you know, in a way that you obviously.
Yeah, I would imagine like they don't want this to get like mean spirited or anything like that. Because then why would you watch it? So, you know, I get it. Like, this isn't for me, but like I do love Zoe Deutsch. I think she's a very talented actress. Yeah. So yeah, I think you know, if you're gonna watch this, cool. I don't think I am, but you know, looks interesting enough.
I probably won't get a chance to see it because I already don't have enough time to see the movies that I want to see. But hello, Marco, all the way from Portugal. Hello and welcome on in. Yeah, they wanted to fully explore the situation. There you go. That's a perfect way to sum it up. Now let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah, and then you and then both of you got pregnant. Oh, fully explore my ass. Okay. Well, they should have fully explored their asses because then they wouldn't have gotten pregnant.
Why would you go there? Okay, I was moving on. Okay, Corporation for Public. I can't do this. The CPB, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, is shutting down after the federal funding rescission. Of course, they pulled back on $1.1 billion of previously approved funding. Okay, yes, we get it. We get it, Jordan. Yes, as a family, MTG. But anyway, this isn't surprising, John, because obviously the whole purpose of the CPB was to distribute the money that the federal government would allot for NPR and PBS and stuff. The money's not there, so the organization ceases to exist. I don't know if you have anything else to add there. It's just to me, sad. It's still shocking. It's sad. I almost got angry at one point.
Stupid. It's just like literally every road to get to this point, every decision that was made was the dumbest possible one. And I pray to God that, you know, CPB gets resurrected in the future. Like, there's got to be somebody out there that's willing to spit up the money, but, you know, all billionaires are assholes, so probably not. But
although,
you know,
I mean, the majority of the funding that PBS and NPR get is from private, you know, sources. So it's not like NPR and PBS are dying. It's just this organization was in charge of distributing the money that the federal government was, you know, was.
No, I know. It's just like
so, yeah.
You know, it sucks. And
No,
you know, Mr. Rogers didn't die for this shit. Mr. Rogers didn't fucking die for this shit.
Not at all. But hey, on a slightly lighter note, John, we talked about this on Friday. The Holiday is getting turned into a TV adaptation. You know, the movie from the early 2000s. Speaking of rom-coms, apparently the director of the movie had no idea this was happening. Like, she was like, "This is news to me." Nancy Meyers, of course, who's done a bunch of other movies that you guys probably are you probably more familiar with than even, you know, the Holiday, of course, The Parent Trap, Someone's Gotta Give, Father of the Bride, as well as The Holiday. She was like, "It's news to me that they're working on a TV adaptation for this." So I don't know, John, is this a matter of, you know, that she's not the rights holder, so they didn't need her permission to do this? So I don't even know if her anger is warranted in any sense. What do you make of this?
I mean, to be fair, yeah, they don't need. I mean, it's kind of like the idea of, like, even if she didn't own the rights, it's like, hey, let's let you know, as sort of like a, oh, hey, we're doing this, blessing, letting you know. It's just like, yeah, it's just,
well, at least this is not like Arnold Schwarzenegger going on a hate tour when they didn't include, not Arnold, Sly. Arnold's fine. Sorry, Arnie. Sylvester Stallone. Remember when he like totally smeared the last Creed movie because he wasn't in one? This isn't that level of hate. So
yeah, but it's just like, you know, it kind of reminds you. It's similar, but not totally. Where it's like, it reminded me of the time when like Tom Holland was like waiting to get like cast as Spider-Man. Like, we're gonna call you, and then they never did. And then like 6 months later, he finds out from his like brother, it's like, "You're cast as Spider-Man." He's like, "Am I cast as Spider-Man?" "Yeah, here." And then it's like Marvel announcing it. And then after that, Kevin Feige calls him and like, "Hey, you're Spider-Man." It's like, "Yeah, fucker, I saw it on Instagram." It's like kind of
so weird. That is so weird. His agent's like, "You got the gig of your life, like of a lifetime, and sorry, I forgot to give you a call to tell you."
But yeah, this is a little not great, but like, I'm not gonna watch this shit, so I don't really fucking care.
Totally fair. All right, moving on to the next thing. Dude, this was the funniest story I've seen all day. Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver screaming at each other is being used now to scare wolves. Apparently, the duo's fight scene from the Marriage Story movie is now being used by the USDA to prove that, quote-unquote, humans are bad. This is an even funnier headline in Variety, where they say, "Look, the scene with Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver fighting in Marriage Story is now being used by the USDA to scare off wolves and save cattle. They need to know humans are bad, John. They need to know that humans are bad." What the?
I mean, I agree. This
WTF
fucking
thing.
shitty ass movie scared me off. I didn't care for Marriage Story. I just thought it was a more mean spirited and less enjoyable less good Kramer versus Kramer. So it's like, you know,
this is so ridiculous.
Yeah, but funny,
So
like,
ridiculous.
it's just ridiculous, funny, whatever you want to see. But like, yeah, pretty much.
Yep. I just thought it was hilarious. This is the perfect kind of Quick Hit story. But hey, John, speaking of the Quick Hits, just one day into streaming on HBO Max, of course, Final Destination Bloodlines, I should say. Final Destination Bloodlines, the latest movie in the franchise that was dead for like a decade. It's the top streaming movie on HBO Max worldwide. It's still sitting with a 93% Rotten Tomato score, and you see here, not only is it the top streaming movie on HBO Max, but the original Final Destination is number 2. And then 2 others are in the top 10 as well. Are you surprised that this movie, I mean, it's having a bit of a renaissance? Obviously, it did really well at the box office, but...
Yeah, but this is one of those, like, I'm gonna catch it on streaming kind of movie. So that doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, glad people are enjoying it.
Yeah. One day in, it's at the top of the pile. Well, there you go. All right. Well, that's all the quickies that we had for you guys. Hope you guys are having fun with those. On a side note, I've been like checking out the John Campea show of late, and they've started doing the news feed segment, which is basically the quickest, except they pre-record them. I'm just saying, without the music and without the banter, I just don't think it's as much fun. So I don't know what you guys think, but I think quick hits are superior. So with that, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think about all the stories we covered today on the news and the quick hits. And of course, now, John, as I like to say, it's time. It's time. It's DC time.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Honka honka.
All right, welcome on into another episode of DCU Daily. This is always, as per always, the best part of the show. And today we're talking about Superman again. We're going to get into a little bit of Peacemaker and then some. So, John, what is your favorite part of the show today? What are you most excited to talk about?
I don't know, just the milestones, how Superman is doing. That's kind of nice to see.
Yep, absolutely. Morkatna's here. MTG's here. You all are excited. Ron was like, it's trunks and capes time, baby. All right, let's do this. Honka honka indeed. I wonder where Caleb is, man. Where is Caleb when you need him? Up and away. Need the daily honka. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get it one more time at the end of the show. But all right, let's dive into it, shall we, John? The very first thing in DC News today is, of course, how did that Peacemaker cameo come together? This was kind of funny because John Cena literally says in this interview that, which, by the way, this moment is a lot shorter in the movie, I feel like, because I could just blink and miss it. But John Cena said it was like a last minute addition. Like it was a final hour that they reached out to him, and he was like, of course, I want to do anything for James Gunn. He's one of those people who I pick up the phone call no matter when they're calling me. And of course, we saw the cameo. We have seen the behind the scenes, photos of it, John. Are you surprised to see that John Cena was like, I'm up for it. Tell me what to do. And he just shows up on set. He puts on the costume that he keeps in his own closet because, of course, he took it off the set. He stole it, famously, as he said himself. And the cameo was just so fun because it seems like most of it was just off the cuff. They just told him to brag about himself in character. And I guess he'd said like 5 lines and then they used one of them in the actual movie. But what did you think, John? Are you surprised it was,
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I like that. I like that. Again, builds the world. And pretty much every time I went to the movie, even the third time, people like clapped. They cheered. I will say, I don't know if it was just because of Peacemaker or it was just because of John Cena. I don't know. But like even the third time, a couple people were clapping. It wasn't like downright cheers, but they were clapping. So there is that. People
every time it was people were like laughing because I was surprised how many people actually knew like that this was a John Cena. I mean, obviously people know John Cena, but like the Peacemaker character is like, they're like, whoa, oh my god, that was hilarious, and you hear people talking about it every single time. So yeah, exactly. Not a headless Superman. We didn't get a headless Peacemaker cameo either. No cameo. Yeah. Cena does look gangster. He looks like a good old gangster from back in the
pinstripe suit. He's working it.
Yeah. Well, what's the era? The Prohibition days. He looks like a gangster from back.
Yeah, Al Capone just needs the hat.
Exactly. He's the best of friends with James Gunn. So why would he not do him a favor? Speaking of Peacemaker, though, John, today, actually, by the time we started the show, it's yesterday. The brand new episode 4 of the Peacemaker podcast
I'm behind.
Freddie Stroma. Freddie Stroma on the latest one, John. This was your favorite part of the first season. Are you excited to see Freddie Stroma and Vigilante talking about the show? They're rewatching the episodes from season 1 as well. This looks
I
exciting.
forgot that he was a replacement because Chris Conrad was the first vigilante. And just by looking at him, he certainly gets the vibe of someone who was definitely the more comic accurate vigilante. Like he's more rugged and not nearly as like funny, and he's more serious. So I think they needed someone funnier and something of more Freddie Stroma's like idea than what Chris Conrad was giving. So that's why they got rid of him. And I think they needed like the like plucky comic relief that this vigilante could offer, which I'm still kind of mixed on. Like I still like Stroma. He's again one of the best parts of the show. It just like just wish he was just a different character, you know?
I mean, I wonder how much more of him we're gonna get in the new season, if he's gonna be a bigger part of it, because he's obviously like one of the best parts of season 1. So I hope James Gunn has given us plenty more of Eddie Stroma. But hey, switching over to Superman for a moment, John. Making a case for Brendan Routh's Superman. I know that a lot of people rag on the movie for being boring, but I personally have been sort of taking a liking to this movie recently because I've been seeing more and more of the clips and just remembering like this movie was better than I remembered it in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's boring at times. The pacing is not the best, but as far as the portrayal of Superman, like it's a much more internalized version of the character in a way that feels really human and in ways that are similar to the Superman that we're getting with David Cornsweet, but also in a lot of ways that it's different. And especially in this post, I mean, Robert Garcia, I follow this group where he posts a lot, and his final thoughts and just kind of summarizing what he was saying. Brendan Routh played a Superman who doesn't just fly; he suffers, doubts, loses, loves, and still continues to fight. It is a mirror of ourselves, because sometimes being a hero doesn't mean putting up buildings. It means getting yourself up again and again when all seems lost.
And I think that's what I think that's what Cornsweet did in the most recent movie. It's just he was surrounded by a good movie instead of being wasted like he was here, because they were just trying to do Reeve again when it just didn't work. It was not its own movie. It didn't have its own identity, and that's what made the movie suffer. It was like this weird amalgam because they were trying to please everyone. Oh, we're bringing back the Reeve timeline, but it also takes place in modern day, and
it was
it's
just
like
it's
kind
just
of
a
its
weird
it just,
amalgamation.
it just didn't work.
And I feel like there was too much time that had passed. Like a lot of people like don't remember like all the details from those movies, and it's just it's kind of hard to connect the dots because they were like, oh, we did this for Batman in the 90s, like let's do it here. I just don't think it works the same, and obviously the movie had other flaws as well. So but it did underperform at the box office. It didn't do terribly. I don't know if it lost money. I think it did lose money, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. It just, there's a lot of things that kind of go in its favor, or didn't go in its favor. But I just thought this was a good summation because it is underrated. Obviously, we have seen him then put on the Kingdom Come suit, which, John, is your favorite Superman suit, the one that Brendan Routh wore in the Arrowverse. And even though the story was terrible, I think Brendan Routh still made the most of it. And the guy got in the gym. He's probably been the most swole Superman we've ever seen.
Tom Welling is pretty big too. Like,
actually, you're not wrong. These days, Tom Welling is bigger than he was when he was playing Clark in Smallville. So that airplane scene is what I just watched it back recently, and that's how I kind of went on this whole like rabbit hole with Brendan Routh. And I can tell you, even to this day, like I was like, the VFX hold up, man. It's like that scene is one of the best live action Superman scenes, ever. Like put to the big screen. I was blown away how good that scene looks today. I was like, it's going to look dated and everything. Sure, some of the CGI isn't as good as what you would see today, but still, almost every part of that scene, I was like blown. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's one of those things where like you watch the beginning of Batman v Superman, and it's like one of the best openings to any superhero movies, period. And then you have a lot of problems the rest of the way. But, like that airplane scene for Superman Returns was one of those things where you're like, wow, the bar is set really high. Unfortunately, the movie doesn't deliver, but yeah, it was a great start. So yeah, exactly. Agree with you guys in the chat. So moving on to the next thing, John, we keep getting these inside looks behind the cinematography of the movie. Again, from Cinemoves who are behind some of the camera rigs being used to film Superman. You can see here They shot Ultraman with the long hair, David Cornsweet in the suit. This is I'm guessing this is when he falls into the black hole. Is this the shot?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Like, I don't know why that specific shot reminded me so much of Brendan Fraser, but it did. Like, I don't know why,
It
just like the
looks like him.
over-exaggerated 90s. I think it's because he had the look of like George of the Jungle, that like mullet, and like that's a very over-exaggerated kind of movie. So, yeah.
No, I agree. I completely agree with that. But you know what? Liz sent us a photo of Brendan Fraser. Have you seen him of late? The man's lost like a ton of weight. He looks like he could be back for the Mummy 4. I'm like, bring him back, bring him into the DCU and give him a role that's not going to end up in the archives forever, hidden away from the audience's eyes. Like
Multiverse Superman, maybe.
Multiverse Superman. I would take it. Yeah, I would totally take it. Speaking of Superman, John, James Gunn recently, the director of Superman, he's been answering more fan questions, including casting DCU's Batman, of course, the possibility of seeing Hush in the Batman 2, as well as which Robin are we going to see in the Teen Titans movie. So let's go through it one by one. Of course, the very first thing here he's addressing is, are you already casting DCU Batman? Simple answer, nope. Are you surprised to hear that? Because obviously the script is.
He's been saying that for a while.
So,
like,
exactly.
We're not casting.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the next thing. Then he got asked, like, what about the Hush, or what about Hush, the character in the Batman Part 2? And James Gunn said, look, again, everything you have heard of is a total guess or it's made up, because people have been talking about how Matt Reeves was hinting at Hush, and there's actually a mention of Hush in the first movie, so it could be true, but James Gunn's certainly denying it for the time being. So we agree with you, Monique, by the way. And then the last thing James Gunn was asked about is, are we going to get to see Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne? Well, obviously we're getting Damian Wayne in Brave and the Bold, but which version of the Robin are we going to get? Because we don't know if Damian Wayne is going to play Robin. He might just be playing Damian Wayne before he becomes Robin. And James Gunn just said, look, anything you've heard of about that movie is made up or a guess, as in the Teen Titans movie. Like, which Robin are we going to get in Teen Titans? And James Gunn said, no one in the world knows anything about the concept for the story except 4 people. My question to you, John, is who are these 4 people that he's talking about? Because if I had to list them out real quick, I would probably say Gunn and Safran, the co-CEOs, the writer, Ana Noguera, who's writing the script. And then the 4th one, they don't have a director yet. I mean, could it? But Matt Reeves seems to be involved in everything Batman, so maybe he knows. I don't know. Like, who do you think are the 4 people that know about the version of Robin we're going to get in Teen Titans?
That sounds about right. I don't really know. Like, maybe there's another producer that's like, that is like going to be on the project. Maybe another writer. Maybe they do have a director. They just, they're kind of working on it. So because I remember reading something else. I don't know if we're going to be talking about it, but I remember James Gunn saying how when Ana Noguera was finished with Supergirl, she was kind of writing Teen Titans, but then apparently she immediately went to Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman has been Ana Noguera's #1 priority. That's what I read. That's what
I haven't seen that actually yet, but I'm
going to try and look it up. While we continue, I'll try to look it up to see where I found it.
That's really curious, because I'm wondering then, do you think Teen Titans is on the back burner for a bit, or do you think she finished it?
I think Teen Titans has been on the back burner for a while. I don't think that's going to be shown up anytime soon.
Dang. Okay. So wow, that is I did not see that actually. I mean, James Gunn responds to like 1 million comments, so maybe I missed it. It's the man does not sleep, so not surprised. I mean, Frankie G would like to see Dick Grayson's Robin. I mean, people were speculating also about that animated movie. I'm forgetting the name of it right now. The one we're going to get 2 Robins.
Dynamic Duo.
I feel like more and more that movie is not going to be part of the DCU at all, which makes sense because they don't want to mix up something animated, and especially like giving the animation studio freedom to tell whatever story they want to tell, not being tied to the larger DCU canon. But Yeah, I mean, exactly. Enterprising. I don't think anybody was expecting to get Teen Titans for a while. Anyway, we were surprised they were even making the movie to begin with. It wasn't one of the movies they talked about in the slate announcement. Yes, thank you. I have water. I have ginger ale. Ginger ale on one side, ginger ale on the other side. Some water here. Just trying to stay hydrated. It's a long show. But I mean, that you guys let us know. Are you surprised that Wonder Woman is? I mean, obviously we know Wonder Woman is a priority, but are you surprised they've kind of put Teen Titans on the back burner because of it? Because I mean, yeah, Ana Naguera is she can only kind of focus on so many things at one time. I'm not surprised to hear that she's kind of picked up one and maybe put the other one aside for the time being.
I brought
Maybe
up
they have an idea.
I did bring up the thing real quick. There it is.
Yeah,
That's the tweet.
Yeah.
Do.
It doesn't exist. She's been on Wonder Woman. Oh, so there's not even a script. Like so she's not. It's just maybe she didn't get.
Well, at least not a full script. So she could be like doing like outlines, treatments, storyboards, and whatever the fuck else. It just we don't have a full script of Teen Titans.
That makes sense. Okay, that's surprising, but also I get it. I totally understand. Like Wonder Woman is a priority. So, and that movie will. I mean, if I had to pick, like the box office potential for Wonder Woman is higher than for Teen Titans anyway.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that.
Also, what do you mean, old man Batman? We've gotten one old man Batman. Literally every single other Batman has been young Batman.
The only old man Batman we got was Michael Keaton in The Flash. That's it.
Well, that and like I think like in terms of like veteran like kind of Ben Affleck, but he was Batman, like he was older than all those other Batman though. Like
but he was in his 40s, and I feel like they're trying to do the same thing for this one, right? They're trying to get somebody in his 30s, 40s. So it's like they were going in the same direction with the new Brave and the Bold anyway. So yeah, that makes sense. That I mean, they did say that Wonder Woman is one of the pillars, so that they would prioritize that ahead of the Teen Titans movie. So yeah, but I mean, Clayface is not on pause because they have a finished script, so they're like just move it along. But I totally understand that Ana Naguera like is prioritizing Wonder Woman over Teen Titans. So, by the way, speaking of Wonder Woman, we put up a poll for the casting or fan casting. So you guys are welcome to go into our post section, the community section, check out the poll. Let us know for Fancast Friday. We're actually going to kind of do it like Tier List Tuesday, where we do the main show, then we do a Fancast Friday right after. I know a bunch of you have already voted on it. One of the Wonder Woman is not an option this week, but we can definitely drop it in as an option next week. You let us know. So far, the options are DCU Brainiac, DCU Batman, Indiana Jones, or Henry Cavill in the DCU. And as of right now, Batman is leading the way with more than half the vote. So, John, it looks like we might be getting.
Here's the thing: they like. Yes, Brandon Sklenar does have that app. Like he could be playing a boxer for all we fucking know. Like. Showing off his abs, like he could be playing a boxer or wrestler or a military guy or like a brawler or something. He doesn't have to be, oh, he has abs, he's gonna be Batman. Would I love Brandon Sklenar to be Batman? Absolutely. But we were already going through all the tweets and shit, and they're like, hey, James Gunn, have you started casting DCU Batman? Nope, we haven't started. Now you could take that as we haven't started because we already have him, but I don't think that's what James Gunn meant. I think he meant we do not have anything in regards to Batman yet. So,
right,
shut up.
I mean, he just said nope to the casting things, which is a very one-word, very simple answer, which I totally understand. I think he's tired of talking about it because, they haven't got a finished script. They're not going to cast him until they do. I think like 38 years old is like logically makes sense, 17-year-old kid or 38-year-old father makes sense. And at 38, like you're still young, you're still spry. Like that's not an old age at all, Elite Easy. So, 38 years young, you got lots of years ahead of you, we hope. So, Monique saying you are only as old as you feel in your skincare routine. That is very true. That is some wisdom right there from Monique, and we should all take that and run with it. Sergeant Rock, yes, it's still happening. Elite Easy, it's still very much happening. James Gunn said it's just gonna happen. Elite Easy crawls into the coffin. Sergeant Rock is happening, but without Luca Guadagnino, and as the director. James Gunn said on that Happy Sad Confused podcast that that's not the version they're going to be doing, because I guess they were just not happy with the script that they had, and it just wasn't working. The timeline didn't match. They did. John, did they cancel the Jurassic League? I don't think that's happened. I don't think that was ever happening, to be honest. So,
if that's the case, then there is a God. Now they just need a green light Batman
sure
Beyond.
hope so. Yes. Do the double. Do the double. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, if you guys want us to cast Wonder Woman, do the definitive Wonder Woman fan casting, even though we've done like 3 of them. But if you want to do the definitive one, we can do it on Fancast Friday next week.
This is brought to you by San Pellegrino.
But until then, John, it looks like we're doing a Batman fan casting this Friday, so we'll get into that. Lots of stuff to talk about.
I gotta pick different people, and spoiler alert: Alan fucking Richson and Jensen motherfucking Ackles aren't gonna be on the fucking list, so y'all can shut up about it.
I mean, we could do it because we're gonna do the likelihood meter, which is like how likely are they to actually be cast, even though we're fan casting them. Like, is it not likely at all to basically a given? Like, and we'll see, like, we'll do some pros and cons. So yeah, we'll have some names for you guys. John has done a fantastic job of picking them, and I'm sure you're gonna come up with a bunch of them this week. So hell yeah, Ron can't wait. All right, one more Superman story before we get into all the box office stuff. So John, James Gunn posted this yesterday, saying that he was in the studio. There's a photo, sitting down about to record the director's commentary for the home release of Superman. And he was asking us, like, what do you want to know? Like, what questions can we answer for him? So people asking him many questions, saying, hoping we get the story behind this post. The post talking about, well, James Gunn posted on, so what was the name of this social media? Blue Sky. Blue Sky Social. I'm grateful for what I think are my 2 favorite days of shooting ever, both over this past year. One magical moment I had with David Cornsweet on the set of Superman, I'll never forget, which I think had to do with, he kept asking him questions about, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I, like, it was a scene towards the end of the movie with Lex Luthor in his control tower. And then by the end of the day, like, they clashed a little bit. By the end of the day, David Cornsweet was like, I really grew as an actor. I love the process, and James Gunn felt the same. So we have heard that story. And then the other one was One Glorious Night in Savannah with John and Jen and the whole Peacemaker crew less than a week ago. That story, I don't know if you've heard of. So yeah, I'm not sure, but maybe that's something you could talk about.
What were you doing with John? What were you doing with John and Jen, James?
It's not the movie, John. It's not the movie. I don't think that's where this is going. But
what were you doing with John and Jensen? Was it like that? Was it like that scene in Peacemaker episode 2?
Wasn't it episode 1?
I thought it was episode 2.
I thought it was episode 1, season 1, episode 1. I think I'm gonna order the Steelbook for Superman, Steven. I don't know if you're gonna order it. I haven't placed it yet, but maybe I should pre-order it now.
You know what? James Gunn is the fucking CEO. He could put his wife into anything he ever fucking wants. All right. Also, Jennifer Holland is fucking hot. Like, shut up. If I'm
exactly.
Gonna flaunt my sexy wife, I'll do it. At least Jennifer Holland's talented. Like Mike Flanagan does the same thing. Kate Siegel, very attractive, and she's talented. Boom. Sherry Moon Zombie, somewhat attractive, not at all talented. But if Rob Zombie wants to put his wife in everything, then fine, whatever. It's cool. Same with Paul W.S. Anderson. If he wants to put Mia Jovovich in everything, then that by all means.
Yep. By the way, he already answered this question. Was the Hammer of Baravia design inspired with the LexCorp armor from Superman the Animated Series? He said, nope. Not from me. I think that I drew the original suit. So that was original. Maybe subconsciously he was inspired. There you go. There's an X-ray edition of this. Okay. Yeah, I wonder what that's going to feature. What? Anyone else were After X? Anyway. Discuss Mr. Handsome being the closest thing Lex has to a son, which is why he puts his picture on his desk at work. You know what? I think we all want to hear more about it, although James Gunn did mention why that photo is on his shelf. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, you guys let us know what would you like to see James Gunn talk about on his director's commentary. That sounds very interesting. It's always fun to listen to that. I think I watch the movie at least once with the director's commentary on it. Yeah. Exactly enterprising. James Gunn really loves his comic book movies, especially Superman, and you can see that from all the work that he's doing to raise the profile of the character and of DC as a whole. And it seems like so far it's working because James Gunn is the man of his life. There you go. Thank you, Lead Easy. But hey, like I was saying, DC is on the up and up, John. James Gunn thanked everybody for another great weekend in theaters for Superman. And
Hell
it
yeah.
was a great great weekend in theaters for Superman, because I think one of you guys had said it earlier, like Smacky said, step aside Marvel, there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah.
You don't have to hate one to like the other, but I mean, Superman did,
I mean,
or
I
has
will
been doing
say,
better overall
like,
than Fantastic
again,
Four.
I don't want both to be in the doghouse, but like, it's kind of nice that like DC is on the up and up while Marvel is kind of on the
For
down
once.
and out. Like, in a weird sort of, like, I don't want them to fail.
They're
I don't
not
want them
down
to
and
fail.
out.
But like the fact
They're
that
just,
it's the first time in 17 years that DC had the highest
we're getting to that.
grossing
Yep.
comic book movie. There you go.
First since
It's
2008.
nice to see. It's nice
The
to
Dark
see.
Knight.
Yes, we
The
know.
Dark Knight. Yep.
Dan, it has been 0 days since Dan has jerked off The Dark Knight.
I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations. I will just no comment.
But the thing is, like, I mean, it's one of the fucking greatest fucking like comic book movies of all time. Like, you have every right to fucking jerk it off.
It is the greatest comic book movie of all time.
I mean, to me, I think I prefer Logan, but
Logan is in my top 3. Logan is probably number 2, but no, I personally prefer, I think The Dark Knight is better. We all hope James.
Like, I get it. Like, Dark Knight's fucking amazing. That whole trilogy is amazing. So, like, anyway, sorry. Let's start.
The Nolan curse had nothing to do with Christopher Nolan, by the way. You can say we are in a Freaky Friday with DC and Marvel.
Possibly a freakier Friday.
Freakier Friday. Oh, okay. There you go. Now the analogy is complete. It's a breath of fresh air to see good competition from DC, and it's not Batman centric for once. Exactly. I think that's great. But to kind of go over some of the records, guys, yes, Superman is likely now to be 2025's highest grossing comic book movie, which would be the first time that a DC movie would take that record since 2008. When I mentioned earlier that I put up the stat, DC, the last time they had the highest grossing opening weekend of the year, or as opposed to Marvel, was 2008 with The Dark Knight. That was the year that The Dark Knight made 158.4 million. Iron Man made 98.6 million. Also, that was the last year that the highest grossing comic book movie of the year was a DC movie. Excluding the COVID years, of course, because I mean there's a big asterisk next to those years, so we don't really talk about them too much. But 2008, John, was the last time that The Dark Knight represented DC as the highest grossing comic book movie of the year, making over $1 billion. And the highest that Marvel did that year was Iron Man, which made like 500 million, something like that. It was really good for the first movie, but it was almost like a glorified indie movie. But The Dark Knight was the first $1 billion superhero movie of all time as well.
So you're saying that the first movie of a cinematic universe did only like 500 million and was still praised and was still considered a success? That's interesting, but that's none of my business.
Well, now Superman has broken that 17-year long streak where Marvel was on the top of the pile. Now, I'm not saying Marvel's probably going to get back on the top of the pile next year with the Avengers movie and Doomsday in December, but at least this year DC has got the crown for the first time. And again, we're talking about it's not a Batman movie for once, because Batman has always dominated the box office. Still, the Batman is probably going to end up having more of a box office, a higher box office than what Superman will end up, with. But despite all that, John, let's dive into that a little bit, that 17-year streak, because over the course of that time, after The Dark Knight became the very first $1 billion superhero movie, and also the last time DC had the biggest movie of the year, as opposed to Marvel, there have been several years where they got close. I mean, The Dark Knight Rises in 2012 lost out to the Avengers. 1 billion, I think it was 1.01, 1.03 billion versus Avengers 1.5 billion. Aquaman made 1.1 billion, the highest grossing DCEU movie. But that same year, we had another Avengers movie, Infinity War, doubled it, like $2 billion. Joker, which is, I mean, Joker was one of the most profitable movies ever that DC or any big movie studios ever put out. Avengers Endgame came out same year, made $2.9 billion, the second highest grossing movie of all time. And then the Batman came out in 2022, $772 million. You would think that it had a shot at being number one, but Doctor Strange 2 comes out, Multiverse of Madness, $955 million. So DC has had a few good years, but Marvel always seemed to come out on top. Now, Superman is on top. Maybe Supergirl can, try to go for it again next year. The Batman 2, Frankie, I agree with you. Given how well the first one did, I think the second one will make $1 billion. And the same could apply to Superman sequel, whether it's a Superman 2 or whatever, other movie it might be. And as far as profitability goes, let's talk about it. But John, like you mentioned, it's certainly a solid foundation to start on, as Enterprising was saying. With that in mind, is Superman a success? Well, according to Variety, the budget of the movie was $225 million. And then they spend another $100 to $125 million marketing the movie. So let's talk about how profitable it was or how not profitable it was. Let me get into the notebook for a moment here, John. So I was typing this out earlier. This is kind of the formula we're going to use real quick. Production budget plus marketing budget. I think the $100 million number is probably a bit more accurate. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, $125 million, we'll go with that. So you add the two numbers together, the math is 350. You multiply that by 1.5. And then, John, if you want to do the math for us real quick, what do you think that equals? That's 350 times 1.5 to reach profitability. I wonder if that means Superman has got there yet, because if I'm doing my math correctly, 350 times 1.5 equals $525 million. And Superman currently sits at, let's take a quick look. Where is Superman at right now? The box office for Superman, I'll refresh the page one more time just to get the latest number. It's sitting at $551.059 million. So I know one of you guys came in earlier and we're talking about it. Jesse mentioned Superman is not profitable. I don't know, Jesse. 551 million is more than the 525 that it needed to be profitable.
And I just checked.
Rough math.
525 is correct.
525 is correct. It's rough math, but John, I mean, however generalized it might be, 525 is still a good 26 million, less than what they needed. So Superman is profitable. Now, I know that some people might point back to that Ohio tax credit report where the actual budget that they filed for was like 368 million. But that's because they needed to qualify for the tax credits, and then the tax rebates and the credits helped bring the budget down, including all the brand placements that they did, right? Like in Man of Steel, they did the same. That's why they had a 7-Eleven getting blown up. They were like destroying
Sears, IHOP.
And IHOP, where one of Superman, Clark's childhood friends worked at. So the actual budget for Superman after all of that for Man of Steel was about the same. They both ended up with the $225 million budget. And yeah, Man of Steel did finish with $670 million. So yes, I did say million like Dr. Evil. $525 million. But let's get into the charts, John, just for comparison's sake, because we were talking about streaks, right? Marvel had a winning streak that Superman has finally broken, 17-year-long streak. The last time DC was on top was The Dark Knight. Well, let's take a look at this streak that DC, what was DC up to that whole time while it was trying to beat out Marvel? Well, we have a graphic here to kind of like go through some of the numbers. You look at the very top of the pile, well, at the very top here, we're starting in 2013. So we're covering the last 12 years since the Dark Knight trilogy, because after the Dark Knight Rises, we got the DCEU with Man of Steel with the same budget as Superman, $225 million. John, Man of Steel was profitable. So if you want to read this chart, here's how it basically plays out. If the box office number is in green, that means the movie was profitable. If it's in red, it's not profitable. And as you can tell, by and large, most of the DCEU was profitable. The problem was the critics didn't like it so much, and that eventually ended up, you could see the numbers irrelevant.
And the thing is, Wonder Woman 1984 and the Suicide Squad both had COVID to deal with. Exactly. 1984 came out in 2020.
You put a big ass asterisk next to those,
and was released on streaming as well. Same with the Suicide Squad. Shazam Fury of the Gods was like the first out of all of these to really be a failure. Even though it technically made more than the budget, it didn't reach because of the marketing. So, yeah, it's a shame, but I don't think Fury of the Gods was that bad, but not enough people went to go see it.
I mean, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, easily COVID. I'm like, that's like you said, COVID is what caused that. Like,
But the thing is, Shazam Fury of the Gods was the first one. It came out 2 to 3 months after the announcement of like, yeah, we're starting a new cinematic universe, guys.
The lame duck movie.
So why the fuck would people go see that?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and Black Adam was just barely profitable by probably like single-digit millions, but it was profitable nonetheless. It just eked out a little bit of a profit. I mean, Joker was one of the most profitable movies, 60 million spent, $1.08 billion made.
But Warner Brothers barely saw that because they had no faith in that because
they split it in half because this basically had an outside financier finance half of that for them, which that's why they then overcommitted to Joker Folie à Deux, which you see right here. This is so. Speaking of a streak, John, it looked like the DCEU had a pretty good streak in the early goings. Then things start to fall off. COVID hits. Then they have really some big trouble. The Batman comes out, does well, but it's an Elseworlds project. Black Adam, barely profitable. Then you see the losing streak really begins. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, not profitable. Flash, one of the biggest money losers that they've ever had. Blue Beetle, you can see they made only like 8 million more than its budget. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, even with a 205 million bloated budget because of COVID and all the other things that were happening behind the scenes, they had reshoots and stuff, significant reshoots. That movie for 440 million, John. Most movies would want that money and they would run to the bank and be like, this is more than we could have ever expected. They'd be like popping bottles, but with a $205 million budget, another 100 million in marketing, Aquaman Lost Kingdom was not profitable. Speaking of Aquaman, though, the first movie makes $1 billion, 1.15, which even today is the highest grossing movie DC has ever put out. It's higher than any of the Dark Knight movies. It's more than Joker, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But the second Aquaman dropped off by over 50%, like almost a 66% drop, speaking of Fantastic Four. And then Joker Folie à Deux, Warner Brothers overcommits $200 million. Like, why are they spending so much money on these movies? But then, John, one time they made the investment where it has paid off and broken a streak of 5 flops in a row over the last couple of years. And depending on where you sit on the fence with Black Adam, maybe even 6 flops. And if you don't count the Batman because it's an Elseworlds story, then you got 8 flops in a row. Superman comes in with a budget of 225 million, the same as Man of Steel. Man of Steel finished with 670.2 million. It's rounded up a little bit. Man of Steel, did it with the same budget. Superman now is sitting at 551 million, John. The question becomes, can it get to that magic number? Can it get to 670, 680? We talked about earlier in the show. They're expecting now with the current numbers, it will get there. It will certainly get ahead of Fantastic Four. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if it'll reach
Good point,
that.
Eileen, by the way. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Eileen Griffin, for that. Thank fuck.
Yep.
Because they said August 26th or something like that, and then James, I remember reading somewhere that James Gunn said it was going to be sometime in September, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I'm looking it up now, and it looks like TBD is August 26th.
Yeah, August 26th was the day, but that
was the original one, right? That was it looks like it. I'm not surprised that they moved it because I was surprised that they moved it forward, but yeah, it's. At least on Prime and iTunes, if you go there, it says August 26th. So, although if you see here, I'm trying to check it out myself right now. It doesn't really have a date. So yeah, it's just TBD now. There you go. Okay. So cool. Thank you for letting us know. I don't know why MTG keeps saying I hate musicals. He said that 5 times in the chat. Yeah, WB putting them on Max back in the day was idiots. I mean, all those guys got fired as soon as David Zaslav walked in the building. But I mean, Blue Beetle, I was genuinely just sorry to see that movie not make money. I really enjoyed that film. Yeah, Birds of Prey, I agree with you. The third act was really bad. But Yeah. But yeah, I mean, hey John, do you think Superman will get to that number, that 670 million, where people are going to compare it to Man of Steel for better or for worse? I know that we talked about it earlier in the show when we were talking about Fantastic Four. Let me see if I can find the article. Currently, the projections are calling for Superman to finish somewhere between 640 to 680 worldwide.
I don't think it's going to reach.
That's despite a weaker than
I think it's going to maybe reach the lower end. I don't think it's going to reach the higher end.
Yeah. I would be okay with that even. I mean, even if it lands somewhere in the middle, that's like a good respectable number. 660. Let's call it.
I think like it'll reach 600, like just barely. I don't think it'll even reach 640, but we'll see. Let's hope. I hope it's, it reaches that point, but we'll see.
I mean, we talked about how like August is not that busy of a month. So it's only gonna, I think one of you guys said in the chat, like it's only gonna leg out for a few more weeks. And as long as it's able to do that, it's already a solid foundation. It's accomplished its goal. Like the positive reception, both with critics and audiences, is what Superman needed to do. So I think anything from here is just gravy. Like financially, it's profitable. If we did the math for you guys, let me go back and kind of show you what we did. Just so we're showing our work as they would in math class. The production budget plus the marketing budget multiplied by 1.5. It needed to make 525 million. It is currently sitting at, when we're doing the show, it's sitting with 551 million. It's done its job. It's made its money. And if it can fly the distance, then maybe we'll get there. You look at how much is dropped quickly, like just to kind of again look at the numbers real quick. Every weekend, the drop weekend to weekend is not that bad, John. Look at this. Like it dropped by 53% from opening weekend to second. Then from second weekend to third weekend, it dropped by another 57%. And now you see here, from the third to the fourth weekend, it's only dropped 45%. So it's actually holding really well. Like you would expect that number to get bigger and bigger, 53, 57, 60, 63, 65. But no, the number's gone down. So it's actually potentially going to catch. I think a lot of people are saying it's going to potentially catch Batman v Superman's domestic number, which was like Batman's domestic number was 369 million. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Where is it? It's not this one. It's the other chart. The Batman right there. The Batman made 369.6 million. I think Superman can beat that. Like if you organize it by here, 412 is probably not gonna get there. 316 is already past Justice League. It's gonna get past Suicide Squad this week. By the end of next weekend, it probably passes even Aquaman, which made $1 billion. And in the same breath, it's probably gonna pass Joker Folie à Deux. Here's the thing: if it catches the Batman's domestic box office, then I think it gets to 680 million or somewhere around Man of Steel. If it doesn't get past if it doesn't get close to the Batman, which made 369 million domestically, I don't think it gets there. And yeah, Eileen, thank you for mentioning that. We were researching it. Even when I go now onto Apple like iTunes Store and stuff, there's no date. Like, or Amazon Prime, they don't have a date. Like it just says you can pre-order it, but there's no release date. So it looks like we're they might be waiting like Apple is for F1. Like they're gonna wait as long as they can, which I mean they should, because the movie's making money. So yeah, until it's headed to VOD, like they were originally reporting in August 15th or August 26th. If it has another 3 or 4 weeks in theaters, John, this would be great. And also, it goes to show you like you need to keep your movies in theaters for more than just 4 to 6 weeks exclusively. It's only going to help you. Like, look at how Superman's overperforming. I was going to see if I can compare it to, let's see, where's the Brad Pitt one real quick? Because F1 is another example of a movie that's doing really well, to see how its weekends have been, and it's been in movie theaters longer. So let's quickly kind of go over. And I think
it's made like about 5-6 million less than Superman.
Yeah. Look, but the percentage change is the key here. Like, look at these numbers: 55% drop in a second weekend, similar to Superman, which did 53%. Then it dropped by 49%. Then the numbers get real wild: 24%, 36%, 34%. You can see that number is not like cratering. It's doing really well. It's holding strong. It has legs. It's like it started off like pretty slow, but it's really
It
slow.
reminds me of I could see like I can make a meme of this, and then where it's Randy from South Park who's just beaten up, and he's just like, I didn't hear no bell, and it's just F1, just like despite being you got fucking bam Jurassic World, bam Superman, bam Fantastic Four, bam Naked Gun and bad guys too, bam, just like I didn't hear no fucking bell. I'm still going.
It's like like the 1A thing, except like F1, F1. Hey, just hit the F1 on your keyboard. F1, 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 whatever that move is. And then 1A, 1A. John is actually hitting F1 on his keyboard.
I'm hitting the F.
Oh, the F. Got it. Okay. Well, yeah, and then look, we got Enterprising saying his brother works for a manager, in a movie theater, and they've told him that this movie is going to be in theaters well past August. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Jose's here. Hello. I was talking to Five Ash the other day. He's good. If any of y'all care,
we're glad Five Ash is good.
We're glad.
I just hope Caleb is good. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, man, we miss Caleb. I mean, he said he was logging into a different account, so maybe he's been here this whole time and we just don't notice him. I don't know. Tell us, Caleb. Honka honka, are you here? But hey, you know what? With that said, guys, yes, look at Superman. It's broken a streak. It's the first green here in the losing streak that was 5 movies long, including, of course, Joker Fall You Do, which was technically not anything connected to the cinematic universe of any kind, but still. And then, like I said, if you don't count the Batman, and if you think the Black Adam wasn't actually profitable because, depending on, there was some controversy around that. I remember when that came out, the Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman.
But again, it was like marginally profitable,
It's just dependent on like whose budget number you took, right? It's like creative accounting in Hollywood, like will tell you different kind of thing. So, because like they will tell you Star Wars never made money because of creative accounting wise, they've like put all the expenses onto it and stuff, and there's a lot of overhead, blah 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 blah. But anyway, at just the basic numbers, yeah, Superman is profitable. Superman's made its money back and then some. So, yeah, we all hope to get enough hours of sleep. Speaking of which, I think this is about time that we call it a night. Thank you, G. Thanks for the reminder. Steven saying, I've heard "Love Is Dangerous, Baby." I'm counting on you. You're just quoting songs that I have no idea. I'm sure John understands more of these references.
I have no fucking clue. Don't bring me into this. I don't fucking know.
It's like from the other guys, right? Like where Michael Keaton keeps quoting like some random. I forgot what he keeps quoting. Was it?
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Although speaking of, Mark Wahlberg is in Shane Black's newest movie. Shane Black is out of director's jail, guys, and he's coming out with a new movie on Amazon with Lakeith Stanfield as well. So
okay. You know what? I'm gonna admit it, and you guys can hate me for it, but I actually liked his Predator movie. I thought his Predator movie was kind of fun. It was a bad fun. It was like
it's so bad it's good kind of way. That's
like you were like, it's
I never watched
it.
Movie, I just heard it was awful, so I never did.
Fun. Yeah, I put it on like I had Xfinity at the time, so I like popped it on. It was on demand. I'm like, you know what? This is kind of okay. So yeah, there you go. Superman has turned a profit, guys. That's the bottom line. Because we said so, or actually the box office said so. You guys said so. If we're going to see the movie, like watchers seen it 7-8 times. I think Enterprising seen it multiple times. Angelica was in the chat saying she's seen it 4 times. That's the power. That's why the Superman is making more money than any movie has any business doing in its 4th, 5th week in a row. So I wonder how far it's going to get moving forward. But yeah, it's better. Yes, I agree with you. It was better than 2. Steven, it may be early for you. It's late for us, man. It's like it's 2:30 on the East Coast. Yeah, Justice for Superman and MTG 8 times and counting, baby. That's it. Whoa. That's exactly why Superman's making money. That's exactly why.
I'll try to see it again. But I'm gonna be seeing Weapons this Friday, so I might not have the time. But
I want to go see Weapons so bad. But hey, guys, go support the movie that you love, because if you keep going to see Superman, it's more likely we're going to get more of Superman. And with that, guys, as James Gunn would say, and, as Superman would say, don't forget to look up. Oh, that's the wrong one.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't.
Way to go, Dan.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
You know
John
what sucks,
Bernthal
John?
nipples?
Honka honka. All right, we're done.